Yeah, man. So I had to just tell her straight out. It's like I'm not afraid to fight a woman, and I will
What?
punch you right in your face. And that was the last time my grandma pinched my cheeks. And
she,
that was
she,
Christmas. Yeah, coming
that,
up.
that
I mean,
was that a
uh,
Christmas everybody will never forget.
yeah, it was kind of bummed because that was the last time I talked to my grandma.
Yeah,
But it is what I'm just kidding.
it's like I
Sorry.
told her, listen, I ain't going to jail for you or anybody. It's just yeah.
Oh man. Well,
Woo, what a start.
well, we were talking about weird stuff when we were doing this,
It's
so that's
Christmas, man.
fine.
We were talking about funny Christmas stories, and then of course there's tons of skits, Christmas skits that we were talking about. So
A lot of
tis the
Christmas
season, you
skits.
know. Yeah,
Tis the
yeah, yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Nissan Nerd Podcast. This is a big one for us. This is our final episode, right, for
Of 20.
2023,
Yes, it
and
is.
this is a combination of a Christmas and a combination of New Year's, all kind of rolled into one, right, Mike? Is
Yep,
that what we're talking about?
that's absolutely right.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
Yeah.
tell them what they've won on this final episode for 2023 of Nissan Nerd Podcast, Mike.
That sounds good. All right, guys. On this episode, Nissan is renewing one of its many commitments to their community in Tennessee. Also, production issues of the new Z have been resolved, and we could be seeing more produced and on the streets in 2024. And lastly, this is, like you said, Miles, the last episode of 23. And we're going to be diving into holiday traditions that we've established with the podcast, as well as recapping what we've done and what Nissan has done over this past year. So, guys, this is the Nissan Nerd Podcast. Let's get into it. Woo!
Man, so
Mm,
we got to talk about all the things that, man, we got so much to kind of cover in this episode. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a Christmas episode, right? We still got news, we still got all the fun stuff that we got to do, but we also got to talk about, like, I don't know, Christmas and
well,
New Year's and
Chris,
everything that happened this year. It's gonna be a groovy show, man.
there's a
So
lot going on, man. I mean, of course, I mean, the time for family, time for with friends. You know, for those whose cars aren't being winterized in the garages and aren't the ones that aren't hibernating,
yeah,
who are lucky enough to not have their cars hibernate over the winter. There's going to be some, I'm sure, some cruises around town, up in the hills, hill country,
ultimate turbo weather. So yeah,
boost
if
weather.
you're is
Yeah,
that ultimate boost weather if you're into it right now. So yeah, but
I agree, man. Hey, before we start, man, can I just say something that in the last week I've saw something on social media, like it was like on every page that I can think of, and it kind of raised a question, and I was going to share it with you,
okay.
which is a very notable graphic artist, digital artist, John Sibal, one
Yeah,
word, John Sibal, right?
Jones Ball.
He,
Yeah.
I guess he's making a bunch of renderings. They look real, and
Dude,
many
all
wish.
his renderings, like his normal car renderings, are pretty off the chain. Like he's kind of a legend in that note.
Yes.
But what's funny is I guess I know what you're kind of going with is that once in a while he makes some pretty crazy digital renditions. And what did you find?
Well, the render that I found wasn't exactly a car, but like a product idea, and it sounded cool. I mean, a lot of people again they're sharing it because it seems to be all over my feed over the last week, which is just like when we were kids, car beds. You know, like not
Gotta
the
have car
twin
bed.
size. You know, when we were a kid, it was what Little Tykes. Remember the brand Little Tykes? It was the always the C4 Corvette or whatever. But now it's like our favorite cars, Nissan Z and Skyline, but as like twin bed frames and things like that. So I actually have two, and I'll share them right now. This is the Skyline rendering. I'm assuming. What do you think? What size of bed do you think fits inside an actual
Well,
scale
if I'm gonna
Skyline?
say, I mean, traditionally they've been the little twin beds, but I mean, if you went through all that trouble to chop up a skyline, and to get a significant other into that bed, guess what, man? You need the space for the party. You know what I mean? Like you took all that time to get them into that bed. I'm just
Yeah.
saying you might need a little more room for the party that's intended. I don't know. Just saying.
So there was
Oh,
two
see,
of them
there
that
you
we
are.
saw
There
here.
you
See,
are. That's it
this
right there.
one this one was a little this is a Z31
What?
300ZX. Cuz
This is Z32, son.
but look at the door handles. Door handles to me say Z31.
There's things that are
Again,
off.
that's what
Guess
makes it a
what?
rendering. That's why we know it's not
It
real.
is. It's a rough ending, but I still think it's cool as hell. That's more 32 than anything else. I'm gonna say.
I do see that as well. The R32 was a little bit more accurate. And one of the questions I had though is like realistically, how feasible is this if
Oh,
this is
to
actually to
do
be
to chop
made?
up a car?
I mean, okay, let's say it's a salvage car. I don't know, man. Like
I
first of
would
all, would
totally
you
chop
do it
up
to a
all
real
day long.
car?
Yeah, why not? I don't know about a. I don't. I don't think I would deprave anything, or deprave. I don't think I would destroy anything that's that anybody's gonna cry about. So it'd probably be like I don't know, like a 32, like a Z30, a 300ZX. I'd probably take like an old 2+2 that's just seen better days and just beat it and really just skin it
Yeah.
and then take the skin and then weld up and build a wood frame and then just put the skin around it. But man, that'd be so much sectioning and chopping. I mean, Jesus Christ, it might as well be a full on hot rod. You're gonna chop and do all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. Was just the feasibility, though. Aside from breaking hearts, if someone saw that you actually took,
Whatever.
because
That's fine.
Skylines aren't cheap. I mean, Z's
You
aren't
never
getting
know.
any cheaper. So, I mean,
You
I
thought
think
you thought about this way too much.
I know. Well, that and then I'm thinking about wait. Okay, let's say you live in an apartment. Are you really going to put how many trips up the stairs are you going to make to put
Oh,
this thing
yeah.
together? I think if
That,
someone
that,
were to do it though, it would need to be a
yeah, well,
lightweight version.
all right. Well,
Fiberglass.
let's talk about the bigger problem. Now all your friends are going to stay the night at your house, and you don't want them to stay that much. And now they're like sleeping at your pad all the time. Or one of your buddies has one of those party night outs, and then he like, oh, I get to sleep in the race car bed, and then he puts a dent in the side of your door of your race car bed.
Do you file an
Ooh.
insurance claim at that
Yeah,
point?
do you get the PDR guy to come to your
Yeah.
house
Hey, it's
to
in the
fix
bed,
the
dude. I need you to do
dent?
some PDR to onto my door.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I've seen that video before. I've seen that video
He's all,
before."
yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't taking a step inside
Yeah,
your house,
I'm
mister.
here to take out your dents. Like, oh, just come on, let's go, guys. Like, that's pretty funny that you caught that part. All right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
man.
Anyway,
All
so
right.
rant's over though, man. I'm sure you saw it too, but it was fun. It's fun. I'm glad we got to talk
Mm.
about that for a second though.
Which one did you take? The 32 or the Skyline or the 300?
So because I don't see as much contradiction in the Skyline bed frame. So for
Oh, okay.
accuracy, I would take the Skyline, surprisingly.
Mm,
Meanwhile, if I thought that Z was a little bit more, I mean, had the accurate door handles and something about that body
oh my
kit looks a little
God.
too non Z32 ish, but it probably is. But
But again, it's a
yeah,
rendering. I'm sure he
the
could edit it.
rendering.
But dude, that's pretty sick. So, all right, enough
Mm.
about beds and twin beds. And would you get a last one? Would you get a CB radio so you could talk to other car beds?
CB radio?
Yeah, that's
That
it.
would be funny. That'd be
And you
pretty
got to
funny.
think of a handle. I mean, we could talk about this all night long. All right,
We could.
let's go.
We
We're gonna
could.
drop it. All right, we're
Yes.
done.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes. So, oh man, yeah. Aside from that, though, man, I know we just spent a few days ago. We had the local car club had its holiday dinner, had a great time, had a lot of good times with friends. I know before that, you came over and helped me out. We put the final touches on the engine bay. Paintwork in the engine bay is
yeah, yeah.
done.
On your right-hand drive 300ZX that we've originally was going to be like a 1 month turnaround,
Oh yeah.
obviously turned into a much bigger situation. But we ended
Yes.
up like trimming the entire engine bay so we could talk to you in a paint. So now we laid the paint, we laid the clear.
Yes, we did.
You got a picture of that sucker?
I do. I do. I'll share
Oh,
this
nice.
for those that are checking out.
It came out
This
pretty good.
is the latest. Oh, for sure, man. So, um,
I
this
like the fact that we still kept all the foil on it when we laid all the paint, so keep all that freshness on the brake master cylinder and everything on the lines. But it was
well,
like super just get it done type of scenario, but it came out so good. Like,
man, and that.
No
you made a
fisheyes, no runs.
we
Mm,
did pretty damn good. The one thing I think that really set it off, and this is what we did that last time here, which is you suggested we do the urethane clear, the 2K
yeah. 2K urethane.
urethane clear. It's a
Mhm.
two-part aerosol,
It's
and
great.
this is my first time using it, man, dude. It came out amazing.
For a rattle can job that, I mean, you can get this done yourself if you've got the time and the, dare I say, gumption to get it done. But
Yeah.
dude, I thought it came out pretty damn good. We didn't get rid of all the dents. We could have mudded over all that stuff and shaped it, but
Mm,
we wanted it to be original. We wanted to see all the rivets and all the factory detail underneath the paint. So yeah, we just kind of took all the filler off of it, shaped it all, and then we laid down. God,
mhm,
primer. We built it up a little bit. We a high build primer, sanded that
mhm,
down. Then we laid the paint, and we did two hits, two paint sessions. Actually, three or four paint sections if you think about it. And then we
mhm.
did two hits of clear. So I mean, that's a thick
Yes,
amount of paint.
it is.
And the sealer. Yeah,
And just look at it. That's the reflection. I think the body was dry at that point. That's how nice that urethane clear lays on, and
yeah.
the shine. It's like a glass finish, man.
And so for those out there that want to kind of attempt this type of thing, it was actually all with cans. I mean, we did. You could probably get the same results with about 3 cans of primer, 3 cans of paint, and 3 cans of clear. If we had to go back and just rep, make suggestions, just
Hmm.
that, and then get yourself a good amount of like wax and grease remover. Take Do it all. Put
Yep.
all the prep in it. I think we started everything with like Scotch Brite pads,
The
like the
the
red
red
Scotch,
pads, red
the
scuff
red
pads. Yep.
pads, and then we
Yep.
hit everything with that to scuff. Yeah, and it was, I don't know, we didn't buy that much, but God, I mean, you could do it very cost effectively and just turn the car around. That's it. All came out pretty well, man. I'm happy
Oh,
for you. So
for sure,
now
man.
you got to put it all back together. So
Oh yeah, now it's yeah. See now and that and then the masking tape. Since it's been longer than we expected, that masking tape's going to be really dry and brittle. Guess how much
yeah,
time I'm going to be spending trying to get that tape off
I don't.
of
You know
every
what?
little
I
thing.
don't feel
It's
bad for you at all. You know
don't.
what?
It's
You
yeah.
gotta paint an engine bay.
I
So
deserve it.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's
waiting
tough.
so
I don't
long.
care. I don't care about your problems at that point. So
uh,
I'm
we,
glad you're
we
happy.
are
So
we are getting a lot of comments online, guys. By the way, for those that are with us, thank you for being with us, and we see you. We got a few guys here. Of course, our buddy JLE, Mr.
mhm.
Eastman, is saying, "Evening, boys. Good seeing you, sir. Hope you can
Dang.
stay with us here." We got Matt out of California. We hung out with him a few times. I think in Colorado and
Yeah.
a little further,
Jaylee is
man.
just fresh back from Japan. He did the Z Crazies tour up there, so he hit all of Japan. Those guys seem like they went everywhere this year, man. They hung out with all kinds of faces within Nissan community and had a blast. One of these days we're going, well, probably coming into the next year, we're going to unpack some pictures from JLE's tour. Maybe we'll have them on the show and we'll kind of talk about it. Or we'll figure out something. But you
That'd be
got to see
fun.
some of these photos and some of the
Amazing.
videos from that stuff because
I'm
it was
jealous, man.
it was
Yeah,
noteworthy, definitely for sure. So
very
kudos
much
to him
so.
for coming back.
Yeah.
Kudos again to Matt for being on with us tonight, as always. Thank you for always listening and always being supportive. We love you.
Brian Vela, of course, with Bob Sobey and their
Oh
two-time defending
yeah,
champions of
hell
the
yeah!
Optima Ultimate
Returning
Streetcar Challenge, saying
champions.
evening. Yes, sir. Thank you for being with us. And Matt did also ask, will the car be ready for ZCon? Well, that definitely is the plan. And before then, finger if things go to
We'll
plan. But
see. I'll push. I'll push him, Matt. I'll put a fire underneath him. We'll try to get him out of here.
for sure, man. Well, man, honestly, again, the guys that are with us online, keep up the comments. Let's keep the interactions going. Let's have some fun tonight. Miles, do you want to do the honors with our tradition?
Oh yeah, with a
Yeah.
kampai, not a problem.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the part where we salute. I want to see some drinks up in the air. It's the last one for the
Woo!
year, and this will be our standard kampai. Salute to those in the Nissan family who we wish good health, and to those we may have lost either this year or in prior years. We want to give them a shout out as well, and may we be reminded of them often.
All right, guys, join us. Clink, kanpai. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
good stuff. Well, we're gonna honestly today we're gonna try to shorten up everything for news, and we don't have too much to cover for motorsports. It's kind of the quiet season, if you will, and then we're gonna just kind of talk a lot about the year in review, what's gonna be coming up. Me and Michael do a little Christmas gift exchange here in a little while and nerd out on some stuff,
Hmm.
and stick with us. We'll go from there. Let's go ahead and step into the news part.
Yeah. Uh, so, guys, this part, Nissan news, of course, from Miles and I, over the last since the last episode, we try to find the latest Nissan news that is entertaining, fun, and definitely fits the Nissan nerd vibe. And I think we found a few of them for this episode. But we get our articles from everywhere, from the Nissan Media Newsroom to various sites across the the internet at large. Miles, you have the first article. I know
Yeah.
this is some good news, actually, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of news that's coming out. Of course, we have to pick everything, and me and Mike said we'd only pick one article this time around, and we're going to
Mhm.
kind of keep it down, or try our best to kind of keep it down. So, this is actually about Nissan. Some updates here with the recent Z. So, the Nissan Z paint issue that was kind of slowing down production is solved, and so we might have a huge production increase. So you might be seeing a lot more Zs coming your way. The article is actually from Reuters. Reuters Japan is reporting paint issues at the Nissan's Tochigi plant have been resolved as of November. The plant is now operating at a two-thirds capacity. Some of you may or may not have been aware that one of the factors that contributed to the less than ideal rollout of the Z in 22 and 23 were actually paint issues at the plant that slowed down production, especially affecting the Z and the Araya at the same time because they were sharing production lines.
Mhm.
The issue was quality control with the all new automated painting system. Passion Red was the most directly delayed out of all the Z colors, so that might be a rare color coming for the year. And you know what?
Good
What's right
story.
is I haven't seen a lot of the red ones making their way out. Right?
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, the most common colors, of course, yellow with proto, and then you can get the others.
Yep.
Silver, black, blue. The blue has always been a popular color
I've
right
seen a lot of the
now. The
purples and the
red.
yellows here locally,
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
in Texas where we're at. There's also a specific slowdown of two-tone paints in Z production because of the hatch paint line, because of
That's
the I guess the little samurai. I wonder if it's the samurai sword or if it's
the
another piece
katana.
of it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
katana, maybe.
Well, and I was thinking about that too because
That's
I
a
mean,
silver. It's a satin. I wouldn't
well,
say
that's
satin silver,
that's
but
a trim piece though. It's a trim that snaps into place. I
you
think,
think
but
that, but
well, yeah, but I mean, but in general, I mean, that two-tone color with the black roof and pick whatever
or
color you want
yeah,
on the
okay. I
bottom,
see what you're talking about.
like there's not a major, at least from what I can
A
recall,
brake
there's not
line.
a major break line. So
Yeah.
it really is the precision of the paint that it has to be perfect to get that right. So yeah, naturally that alone spells production quality
That could be,
issues,
yeah, I can see
perhaps.
that how it slows down everything potentially. But
Well,
the good news is now that it's supposedly
resolved.
fixed.
Yeah.
So this is quite possibly good news for the Z, although it is still low in priority production wise at the plant, taking a backseat still to the Aria. In
Okay.
Japan, there is an estimated up to 6,000 back orders for the Z that will take apparently up to 2 years to fulfill with new orders still not being allowed. The US is the most prioritized market. Sweet. Not, and I apologize for anybody from another part of the world. I'm just gonna say we just want them here. My apologies.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
again, the U.S. is prioritized. Don't be hating. All right.
USA, USA.
No,
No, I'm
don't
joking.
even go there.
No,
We
no,
are
no.
we are a global show, and we try to
Yes,
make
we
sure that
are. Yes, we
everybody
are.
gets these. or we want to make sure everybody gets these. But yes,
Yeah.
so I guess that's good news if you're in the U.S. So the U.S. is the most prioritized market, and it's already feels like the 2024 Z production numbers are up with the highest recorded VIN in North America inventory at 1,282 as of just a few days ago. So
That's good to hear. That's great news because I think we've asked each other this multiple times. Is like, aside from the friends that we know who have the new Z
yeah,
car, it's like,
nerds, total Z nerds within the community that have the cars. So
yeah. I mean, when have you seen just a stranger with a new Z out in the wild, like during your daily commute going to work or whatnot? It, man, I haven't seen any. And obviously, production is one thing, demand is another. We got to keep these numbers up, especially if we want the Z to continue more and more. That's what Nissan likes to see. You gotta sell the thing in a
true.
good numbers. Um, with this production issue resolved, though, I sincerely hope to see more and more Zs at the local meets. Meet some new people who are new Z owners and make new friends with them too.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and then of course, thrown in the mix, we still got like the Nismo that's coming out. So yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
I'd like to see those in the wild. We'll see how that goes. So
by the way, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm not sure if you saw this too, but a lot of social media has been showing that Nismo models and even just the base models and performance models,
mhm.
some of them are selling at MSRP, and then some just a hair below MSRP. I've
Hell
seen at
yeah.
least two or three dealership postings where they are maybe that what kind of tax would you call that? The um, rarity tax or
I'm gonna
just
say exclusivity, right? So
exclusivity tax.
you know what? I
Seems to
still
be
have
coming
this
down.
thing. Like I know everybody was like that they were mad at mad at dealerships for what they called gouging, but I think what it is they just wanted to have the car on the lot for longer than a minute. They wanted to make sure that they could sell it to somebody and keep it on. But I think once you sell a car to somebody, they'll say, yeah, yeah, you can keep it for 3 months. But who wants to pay for a car and then wait for 3 months for it to be released from the dealership and then so I think what it is they people were buying them and they were like, yeah, yeah, sure, you can do it. And then they were just throwing pissy fits because they were just like, I just bought a car, I'm making payments on it, now I want it out because I want to drive it. And I could understand that, but so
Yeah.
dealerships are like, well, let's mark these up things to ridiculous amount of prices so we can at least keep one in the showroom and
It,
and show one of the best production cars, new model that's come out in a long time. And that I
it,
said this before, and people were like, just thought it was gouging. I don't necessarily think that was the whole picture. I think that's what people thought initially, but I think what it was is it just needed to be in the dealership so people could put their damn eyes on it because the production numbers were so damn low.
Well, I mean, there's two sides to every story, though. I see what you mean, right? Because the new Z, especially when it first came out, last year or two, it is a draw. People want to see it. They just
Yeah,
it's get them to the showroom. And by the way, have you seen this other car that we have for sale? That's the lure of coming to dealerships. That's the whole draw.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are many stories of greed or whatnot, but I mean, again, there's two sides to every story.
We'll stay
But
positive.
now, but now it's like, well, that seems to be kind of lifting. Things are becoming a little bit more available. Pricing is becoming more realistic or attainable. Um, that's good news. It's good news for
Yeah,
2024. I know that much.
I would agree. So yeah, that's my article. Let's go ahead and go with, and you've got the next one here. This
Yeah.
is basically, I guess we're just talking about a partnership, right?
Well, I'm seeing it's two articles, and obviously. I mean,
Leave it to Mike. I tell him he can only do one, and he's like,
synergy.
I took
It's
multiple articles and jammed them into one.
made them into one. It's really dense. That's just a really long story. How about that?
I mean, this podcast is one
It's
long story. All right, go ahead.
anyway. The line, yeah, exactly. The bait and switch right here. All right. So, yes, you are absolutely right, Miles. Though, Nissan is they announced a new an extension. It is a 20-year partnership with the uh, Tennessee Titans, which is a NFL football team in Tennessee, and a new stadium. So I guess whatever has been going locally in Tennessee, a new stadium has been in the works. The current stadium, which the team uses, is called Nissan Stadium. But one of the things that Nissan did is say, you know what, you're getting this new stadium. We definitely want to continue this relationship, not only with the team and business, but for the community. And so the new stadium, which is being built and due to be um, completed by 2027, will also be called Nissan Stadium. So this is an extension. And again, for the next 20 years, you're going to see Nissan Stadium, the name continue. So it's just one of the many things that, and we've talked about this before, it's one of the many things that Nissan does locally near its corporate headquarters, North American headquarters, which is in Franklin, Tennessee, which is just south of Nashville. So um, I think that, again, it's one of those extensions of what they're doing. And this new stadium is doing more. Let's just get this out of the way too. It's not just for football games, though. It's a multi-use type of stadium. Not only do you have professional football games, you also have the local Tennessee University, their local football games. You got large scale events, concerts, and community events. So this is, again, just a contribution that Nissan has made, and this continues 40 years worth of contributions that Nissan has made to Tennessee. After, of course, their first factory being built in 1983, 40 years ago. And since having relocated to Tennessee, to Franklin, having moved from California in 2008. So Nissan's very much a big contributor to not only lifestyle, but the economics of the state. Over 11,000 people in Tennessee are employees of Nissan. And since Nissan began, though, they have invested over $10.5 billion to communities statewide ever since. So it is pretty big. So we'll definitely see them. I actually have a picture. This is one of those upcoming things. Of course, you got multi-use. You've got a whole complex that is going to be built around it. I mean, if you've seen any of the other modern stadiums these days, it's more than just a stadium. You've got shopping centers and stores and restaurants that are just this big compound of entertainment in general. So again, Nissan's the marquee on top of it all. So that's a really cool thing to see. I think once this kind of gets completed, Miles, this definitely is for any Nissan enthusiast and a road trip through Tennessee. Hey, make a stop here. This could be a little landmark, have some fun, see a concert, have some food, something like that. Um, Now, the second article, which again is that combination I was telling you about, Miles, is the current Nissan Stadium. They are partnering with a new type of golfing experience in 2024. So for a limited time in 2024, people will be able to go to the current Nissan Stadium and participate in a Top Golf style of golfing at Nissan Stadium. So again, combine the idea of Top Golf. Have you been to Top Golf, Miles? You know what that is?
Yeah, it's where you sit on a rooftop and you lob golf balls um, into
Yeah,
space.
you got targets and you got point systems and everything else. It's like bowling but with golfing, and you have a nice little lounge style seating and you have a bunch of fun. You have these contests. It's actually a pretty good time though, man. I've done it a few times with some Z buddies and stuff. So imagine doing that at Nissan Stadium. So it's one of these things that it's a company called Upper Deck Golfing, which is introducing a new style of golf. They're calling it stadium golf. They're advertising a once in a lifetime experience inside the most legendary stadiums across the country. And if you go to their website, upperdeckgolfing.com, you can see it's not only the Nissan Stadium, but you've got a number of stadiums across the country. Again, you've got Minneapolis, Wrigley Field in Chicago, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Dodger Stadium, a whole list. It seems like over a dozen stadiums across the country are buying into this idea of a limited time golfing experience inside a stadium. And so Nissan Stadium is one of them as well. Our chance to take advantage of this at Nissan Stadium is March 8th and 9th. Um, I think they're saying that the arrangement is 9 holes ranging from 75 yards to 150 yards. And then you've got some other competitions happening during that time. So I think that if you're a golf fan or a football fan and a Nissan fan, why not combine all of that and give us a shot? You can go online and actually join essentially the wait list to get your name and to get a reservation, to book a time to do it. And it's open to the public. You don't need a professional. You don't need to be a professional to do this. Um, it sounds like a hell of a time, man. I think it's pretty cool. And to me, it's the nerd part of it too. It kind of ties in to me the idea. I'm sure if you've seen this, Miles, if you look at most Zs, specifically like 350Z and 370Z, there is a little diagram that shows you how to pack 2 golf bags into the hatch area of the Z. You ever seen this? The Z was designed, the cargo area had a specific requirement to hold golf bags.
So I'm going to say this.
Okay.
What are you shooting at when you lob these things off an upper deck of these things? Like, is there like an old Toyota that's driving around that we're just like
They
lobbing balls
should.
at? I mean, I'm not,
That would be fun.
not being biased or just like,
Now,
like I don't know,
well,
something horrible like a Saturn, undentable Saturn
oh,
kind
the
of.
polymer door
Yeah,
Saturn.
why
Yeah,
not?
I remember
Let's
that. Okay.
or just something old. I don't know, make it fun, or just you could have somebody out there like in
There
one
you
of
go.
those bear attack costumes, like haha,
Well,
and
that's
then
the fun part,
if you
right?
hit
Yeah.
Gary down there, you get I don't know
Uh,
drinks or a free drink or
yeah.
something.
You get
So
a free Nissan keychain, something like
oh,
that,
there you
right?
go.
Yeah, you go.
Poor
No,
Jerry
well, here,
takes a head injury for a Nissan keychain.
yeah.
Oh, there it
Well,
is. That's
there
what I
it
want
is.
to see.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I forgot to share my screen here. Yes, here is a concept rendering of what we're kind of expecting to see, which is in this case you got a football field, but now you've got various shapes of green
Oh
section
yeah.
areas on the field, and so you're
Are you
aiming for those
putting down there at
targets.
the field while people are lobbing stuff at you, or is it just for points
No,
kind of
I
thing?
think it's more like, again, I read the article. It wasn't exactly clear to me anyway,
I wonder
though.
if they're
But
doing it with
the
like
greens,
video.
yeah. Well, see, the green area, they have angles and rakes. So the closer you get to the target, gravity will let that ball
Mm.
essentially register and get you points as you go. But
Damn. All
yeah,
right,
man.
they're getting into it. All right.
Yeah. By the way,
Oh,
prices
okay, that makes sense.
start. Yeah, yeah. Pricing is starting at $79. Though I can imagine there being some Nissan executives participating in this. Obviously with Nissan being the marquee,
That's
there's some
cool
free
though.
tickets being dished
Now
out.
that I understand what's happening, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
I
won't
thought it
lie.
was I thought it was just a bunch of guys drinking a 12 pack on the top of the place and just lobbing them into the parking lot. But this makes totally more sense. So yeah.
I should have led with the pictures. What I should have
You
done.
should have led with the pictures. That
Yeah.
it definitely explained a lot more. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, for any of you that are in the area or would like to participate or get on the waiting list to do this, you can go to upperdeckgolfing.com/Nissan Stadium. There's availability for you to, I guess, join the wait list, receive notifications, because the actual booking of these seats and times have not been cemented yet. It will be soon, though, so you can still get online and get your chance to do this, though. It sounds like a lot of fun, though. I think, again, if you can combine being a Nissan fan with being a golf fan, or again, it's the same stadium that the Nissan, the Tennessee Titans
You can find a
participate
way
in.
to make that leap. So
I,
I
I
think it'll
just thought
be
about it too.
oh,
Nissan Titan, Tennessee Titans, Nissan
is it
Stadium.
though? Is
I
it?
don't know. Maybe that might be a stretch, though. We'll see.
And
We'll
because the
see.
Titans going away, I don't know.
Ugh. Yeah, if there's a,
Too soon? Too
you know,
soon?
if there's a new Nissan full size pickup, does the football team need to change their name to match it? Does it have to like be
Might.
something?
The
I don't know.
Frontiers? No,
The
they
Nice,
wouldn't change that.
the
They're not
Tennessee
going to change
Frontiers.
an entire. Come
Nah,
on,
nah, nah.
moving
The
on.
franchise, yeah.
Change to accommodate. I don't know, maybe, but all right. Well, that is news. I had one article. Mike had four, so that's pretty cool. It all worked out. It's comparison sharing. It's not a big deal. But again, guys, if you have anything that you want to input here, as always, make sure you're sharing your comments, throwing in something in there. If you completely disagree with us, mostly on Mike's article, you let us know, and we'll definitely give you make some comments. If you like my article, make sure to tell me. If you make sure to not like my article, don't say anything. Only
Yeah.
negative feedback to Mike, and then we'll make sure that we're sharing and going on from there. But
All
let's
right.
talk a little about motorsports. As we said before, motorsports right now is kind of the cold season, no pun intended. But we'll go ahead and give you what updates that we do have now. Of course, Formula E right now, which is Nissan is hugely involved with, is kind of down right now. The opening round for the 2024 season will be coming in January. When we come back here for the new year, we'll go ahead and start giving you some dates and more details when that starts rolling out. Central Micro Cup, haven't got any real date updates with anything yet, but we will be covering that going into 2024 as well as we usually do. Super GT, duh, of course, we're going to cover it and we're going to let you know what's happening with Super GT. Of course, we had a stellar year. We're going to talk a little bit about that when we kind of do a recap towards the end. But again, stellar year as always for Nissan. And of course, they're going to be heading in strong. Going into 2024, we'll of course be covering that and what news we can get from the Nissan Race Desk. But we have one more series that is still continuing on, and that of course is one of our favorites that's happening here in the U.S. And that's of course with the Nissan Challenge. And Mike, you're going to be covering that for us here today.
I sure am. One of the, essentially for us, the only active motorsports event happening. So we're going to give it our full love. Again, we're talking about the Nissan Challenge. What would you call it? The premier grassroots racing track day event happening in Southern California. Uh, we are here to recap round 7 out of 8. So they are near the end as well. Round 7 took place November 25th, which was the weekend after Thanksgiving. A lot of people came around. I'm sure, hopefully, you took your family, had some fun, and saw some Nissans participate on the track. It was at the Streets of Willow, which is about 2 hours north of Los Angeles. And it was part of Ours Day. Ours Day is I think it is a definitely Skyline and GTR meet that has been happening for almost, I think, 7 or 8 years now. We'll get more into that in a minute, though. Going here through the Corner 3 Motorsports site, of course, is where you can see the results. There are 4 classes of entry that you can participate in with the Nissan Challenge. So let's go ahead and give some love to our top 3 finishers in each class. Starting with the first class, this tends to be the fastest group of them all. First place goes to Charles Park in his R35 GTR, setting a time, fastest lap time of the entire series that day, which is lap time 1 minute 18.2 seconds. Second place also goes to a R35 GTR. That is James Funtas. I hope I got that right. And third place, also a Skyline R32 this time, goes to a guy by the name of Aki. And that was the only thing. Full name. That's what
That's
happened
all
on
it
the
is.
registration.
On
Yeah,
my birth
yeah.
certificate, it's Aki.
That's what it is.
That's it.
It was straight and to the point. I'm pretty sure he's a no BS type of guy.
That's it. Or a musician, one of the two. So it's
Musician,
fine.
I could take that. Yeah.
Artist. I'm an artist. But
Artist.
either way, Aki, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Moving on, though, we do have Class 2. 2 entries for Class 2. So let's give him some love here. First place goes to Luke Lederman. His fastest lap for his class is 1 minute 24.6 seconds. Second place goes to Calvin Levy and his 370Z. Moving into Class 3, this was the biggest group. You had 16 entries this round. First place goes to Adam Zia in his 350Z. His fastest time for the class was 1 minute 22.2 seconds. Second place goes to Steven Barker in his 370Z. In third place, also in the 370Z, is Nick Isidrio. Moving into Class 4, and I believe this is the newest class, first being used here in 2023. It's kind of a front-wheel drive class. You see a lot of Sentras, which, by the way, first place was a B13 Sentra with the fastest time in his class, 1 minute, 28.7 seconds. It is Vaughn Navaska. Second place, also in a B14 Sentra, is Brian Abad. Third place is in a Datsun S30 first generation Z car. That is Sandy Isaac. So want to give love to these guys for being the top podium of each of their classes. It was, when you look at the number of entries in total, I'm doing the math right now, 30, 33, 30, almost 40 cars participating in this track day, all Nissan essentially. That sounds like an amazing time. Again, as a spectator, to see that many number of cars participating essentially in a time attack grassroots style, man, it's pretty fun to see. So I definitely want to give these guys some love here on that one.
So actually, Edgar just chimed in. He said it's actually not Aki. It actually he says Aki, but it's actually from Garage Bomber. And if it's the R32 I'm thinking about, that's actually owned by and I know this guy because he's old school. That's Aki Fuchigami, Gami's R32, and that thing is a beast. It was actually 1,000 horsepower R32 for the longest time, and then now it's tuned down for damn near 700 horsepower. The only reason I know that is because they just did a piece on it with the latest Super GT Garage on Motor Trend.
Mm,
So, and I meant to tell you guys this, if you haven't already, please go to Motor Trend or subscribe to it. Super Street Garage just did a great R32 episode, and this is one of the cars that they featured as one of their feature cars while they were doing that. And it actually, Tamura-san actually had a quick piece where he actually showed up on the beginning of the show. And so, if you get a chance, you should go back and check that out. I meant to talk about that when we were going to come out with the episode last week, but instead, we decided to come in mid-month, and you only get one episode for December, and that's why it's a December New Year's episode altogether. But needless to say, that's what happened. But yeah, I mean, the short and sweet point of it is actually that the car is damn near rad. I mean,
yeah.
it's like the raddest thing ever. And I'll put a couple photos of it here in the back right now because I actually have it as a
Is this the
massive
one?
screensaver.
Because that was the next thing too. This is also motortrend.com. Their recent article covering R's Day, which they also give a shout out to Nissan Challenge in the article, which was awesome to see.
Hell yeah, good
I
job.
don't know if this is the one you're referring to. That
It's purple.
particular.
I think it's
Uh,
purple. If that's the one I'm
Purple.
thinking about, and Edgar, you were there, obviously. Let us know if we picked the right one. So,
I got here. It says you're correct. Crazy built R32. That was a drag car converted to road racing.
yeah, it's right here in my back. And I'll get out of the shot because you don't want to see my ugly
Perfect.
face. You'd rather look at this thing.
Aki's
Look
is
at that.
purple. Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep. What do you got there? That's the
that's it.
one.
That's it.
Okay, okay.
Oh, dude, that thing's a beast, dude. It's got a full like fuel cell in the back
Hmm.
and everything. It's like it is all business, and it's been like all business for years, and he just kept developing, and now it's like circuit full up circuit setup. Yeah, and he's a super nice guy.
You know,
So
we
if
got to do a car feature on it. You seem to love this car a lot. Let's
I love a lot of cars, but this one I do love a lot. It's a pretty
yeah,
baller car. So
it sounds pretty nice. Um, I do want to mention though, right? This Motor Trend article is pretty awesome. Again, it covers R's Day, it covers Nissan Challenge, gives
hell
them
yeah.
some love. We're gonna put this article in the show notes for anybody who wants to read more into it.
Oh,
It is actually a really good read.
Dai's
That
car was
is
out there too.
That's his
That's
right there.
awesome.
Yep,
Oh man.
exactly. They're calling it, of course, the 400R Skyline R33. They call it the
The king
epitome
of
of
Kaiju Battle Series. Oh Jesus
yes.
Christ. Man, look at how many awesome man. I don't know if I'd be able to contain myself. That is awesome.
It is. It's actually pretty cool. They do a really cool summary of how ours day began too, and they mentioned the
Really?
organizer too. So yeah, it's a really good read. I actually had a really good time reading it, and again, I will put it in the show notes so that you guys have a chance to take a look. Um, Getting back to Nissan Challenge, though, round 8 is happening this Sunday, December 17th. It's happening at Button Willow Raceway Park. Now, please note there was a date change originally on Saturday, has been moved to Sunday. That's Sunday, the 17th.
Mm.
It's the last round of the year, and I guess this one we will recap in early January when we come back, though. But again, these guys put on a great show. John and Edgar, though, we've definitely had a chance to chat with them earlier this year in an interview. Uh, Great team of guys out there, and again, if you
Dude,
are in the SoCal area, you owe it to yourself to be out there.
yeah, and congratulations again, guys. I mean, you in I don't know, in my opinion, in a short time span, within like a year or two. I mean, it's just your the amount of excitement around the brand and around the event has just kind of grown. And you guys are partnering with an amazing events, and you're doing a lot for the community as far as getting the brand out there. So again, anybody listening out there, make sure to reach out to these guys if you're looking for sponsorship opportunities for a track day event. If you're a business owner, think about these guys, because they could always use the help, and the Nissan community should be helping each other. And again, if you are in that neck of the woods on the West Coast, you're sleeping on it. You need to get out there and start being a participant with it, or at the very least, start attending and just shoot the pictures, and and just enjoy the damn event. But yeah, kudos to them. And this is great coverage. I love to see that stuff, and we're always proud and honored to be able to promote the event every time that it comes up. So I will ask for a sticker and maybe a shirt
Oh,
for this blatant pushing of the event. I'm just kidding. It's all right. We don't need nothing. But yeah,
nah,
we
nah.
I'm just happy that there's an event out here that exists that's like this, because it's needed. So yeah,
Hmm.
thank you to Edgar and all the guys that put together, because it's no man's an island. So it takes a village, right? Is that right? That's the wrong term. No, it's
Ah,
it takes a
N-
village to raise a child. No,
Nissan Village.
it takes a Nissan village to raise a car addicted child. Oh, it's it. But either way, I just again on an end note though, you guys are doing great work, and we're super proud of you guys here, and we
Mhm.
hope you continue on with your success
Keep it up, man. Yeah,
successful efforts. Yeah. So
for sure, man. That wraps up a fairly short motorsports update, though, man.
yeah,
But
but I'm glad we focused on the Nissan challenge, because you know what,
oh
I
yeah,
never feel bad about it, because those guys always deserve it, and
you got a
again,
point.
it's such a great event. So yeah.
You're absolutely
All
right,
right,
man.
so this is our special segment portion. Again, we told you guys we were going to be running fast. I mean, we're at 47 minutes, and we're already getting in to the fun part. So, special segment. This is our last episode of the year, as we kind of previously had mentioned. So we're going to be covering everything like we do every year, covering highlights for the year in both with the brand of Nissan, and then of course things that are happening within the community that we kind of want to make a mention of. So, Mike, I'll
Yeah.
let you do the first few here. This is actually, of course, with the Nissan 2023 highlights. What did Nissan, Datsun, Infinity? What were some highlights for the brand this year?
So yes, what we were trying to do, what I tried to do to really figure it out, because I was trying to think back in of all the episodes we've done and all the research that we do routinely throughout the years. There have been so many articles. What are the highlights, right? What's the biggest milestones that happened for the year? And so hopefully I grabbed them all. But yes, Miles, like you said here, the first one I want to mention is that 2023 is when Nissan celebrates their 90th anniversary. Uh, Nissan, having been founded in 1933, they're saying here that has inspired generations of its employees to push boundaries of innovation, um, pioneering technology to create a cleaner, safer, and more inclusive world. Let's skip the history lesson though. But guys, we will have this article in the show notes though. But for Nissan in general, celebrating 90 years, that is a big moment to a testament to the longevity of the brand and how much it's been involved. Um, it says here, prior to the date of the 90th anniversary, on December 26th, so the day after Christmas, I believe, is the official day, Nissan will roll out a series of commemorative initiatives in the coming months. This includes a dedicated logo that represents the company's storied past and exciting future. And we'll look back on its Nissan will look back on its heritage, celebrate the present, and look to the future. To me, that what that says to me is that in the next coming weeks before the new year, we could be seeing a few articles, maybe some nice, cool little souvenirs or trinkets commemorating that we can either get our hands on or see at some sort of presentation that's hosted by Nissan here pretty soon. That's my guess. That's my guess anyway. That's the first one. Second one is also a milestone. This is for here in the US, being domestic. Let's not forget that in 2023, Nissan, their first U.S. factory in Tennessee, we kind of touched on it just a little bit earlier, celebrated 40 years of manufacturing in the U.S. This year. Again, precisely June 16th, 1983, a white 720 pickup rolled off the line. That was the first pickup in Smyrna, Tennessee, and then ever since then, it essentially is history. Ever since then, though, Nissan has expanded its U.S. footprint to include a powertrain plant in Deckard, Tennessee. That happened in '97, and then also now another assembly plant in Mississippi, which opened up in 2003. Collectively, all of these facilities have built nearly 20 million vehicles and 13 million engines for U.S. customers and customers around the globe. They're saying so. Again, going back into uh, what they do for the community, a lot of initiatives and community outreach. Why can't I get my words right? It it all kind of spawned, of course, from Nissan's initial investment in the U.S. So this is definitely one of them, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, we talked about this before, and I mean, Nissan came out swinging, in January. If we go back and look at everything that kind of happened at the beginning of the year, I mean, Nissan did a huge raise for all their employees. Remember that when it
Mm,
happened, like around January,
they
that
did
that kind of fell under the radar. But I feel like Nissan needed to get notoriety for that. I think it was like a 10% increase, if I remember correct. I'm going off of memory here, but it
about.
like around it was like a 10% increase for a lot of their non-union labor employees,
Mhm.
which because they just wanted to kind of show they wanted to give back, and that was it was a large number of employees that received that. I want to say it was in the
I
thousands.
I think it's
So
very generous, very
yeah.
proactive approach. I think too. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, generous, very generous. I mean,
And then
again,
and it doesn't stop there. I mean, the Smyrna plant, if you follow their Facebook account and their updates, they have like if you want to have some good feel good news,
yeah,
subscribe to the Smyrna plant Facebook page, and I get the updates when I check them in the morning, and I always feel good because those guys are always like building a house. They're always feeding. Feeding the homeless or whatever else they
yeah.
do. It's like I can't keep up. It's like they
Well,
do so much good stuff. It's
well,
like, man,
yeah. Well, we just covered one not too long ago, and it was about remember the two coworkers at the plants.
yeah,
I think they donated a kidney
they
to
donated a
their
kidney.
best friend, coworker. Like that's some heart, man. That's community. That's strength. That's a very
Yeah.
heartwarming, and that's all happening in real time, right in
And that's
Tennessee, man.
probably the reason why, one of the reasons why you have, these um, uh, huge amount of time, like this huge celebration of that time frame. I mean, it's obvious at that point. It's 40 years, but I mean, in 40 years, they've grown as a plant, as a family. And there's a lot of roots there, and
Hmm.
so yeah, it's again, I could understand it once you kind of put it into a perspective and start get the big idea of what they embody as far as like a, a historic plant of this
Yeah.
caliber. So
Again, number of employees, 11,000 employees in Tennessee alone. I mean,
mhm,
that's
yeah, and if
huge
we've
contribution.
been there, I mean we've passed through
Yeah.
the Smyrna plant before, and it is something to marvel at. I mean, we did the tour, and it was amazing. I had a great time when I went.
hmm
So
we do have one comment from online though. Bertomatic says that maybe there will be a 90th anniversary Z
all
because they
right,
did
all right.
that with the Z31, didn't they?
They did. What was it all? Well, we're not going to nerd out too much, but I mean, was it yellow? We already
Well, the
have
gold and
yellow.
yellow wasn't it? The gold and yellow,
Oh, the
or
golden black,
gold, black and gold, black and gold. I'm
black and
sorry.
gold. Well, we should know this, right? We're nerds, right? We're Nissan nerds, so we should. But well, black and gold, a black and gold new Z.
Black and gold, new RZ34, man.
All right, if you're listening to this, get on it, Johnson Ball. If you're listening to it, get us a black and gold. Make the black and gold, baby, and
Ooh,
yeah, that'd be baller.
that'd be pretty awesome, man. That would be really cool.
Oh man, yeah, you'd be the only
Um,
guy doing that. All right.
yeah, you've got the next two
Oh, make me
little
work for it.
milestones for 23 regarding Nissan. You want to go for it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do this. So let's see here. Let's talk a little about Super GT. A lot of good wins for Super GT this past year. Um, as always, there's highs and there's lows, and there was definitely some damn highs, and there was definitely some damn lows with the Super GT series this last year. Now, I'll keep it very brief because we've got a lot to cover here. But when it's all said and done, Nissan came out as a strong constructor this year, and then of course the driver rankings were really strong this year for the Super GT. I think when we walked away in the 300 in the 500 series, we didn't get first. I think we came away with third. Condo Racing ended up taking third place for the Super GT. That's the Nissan Mechanic Challenge, and those guys always do a great job. I think previously in the past few years they'd taken it every time,
Mm.
and this year they ran into a lot of opposition, but they did ended up sitting on the podium regardless. So again, a huge shout out to those guys for everything that they did, and of course that was the driver rankings, and then for the 500 series and the 300 series, coming away, we had first. We were there, but car number three, Team NDDP, they came away coming out great, and that was the Niteria team. They ended up taking second place for the year. Third place, car number 23, officially the Nismo team. They ended up taking third. And then don't forget Impulse Z. I will never forget. Those are my guys. That's my
You
team.
can't forget Impulse Z,
That's,
like more
that's
than
my team.
Miles.
That's
Yeah.
my team. I'll put the hat on. But let's see here. I know I got it around here. Well, I'll leave it alone. My formerly Kelsonic, my Morelli team, they did really good too as well. I'll leave the numbers out and everything, but they did good. Again, just all around a good racing year. I mean, it wasn't there was some heartbreaks, of course, with car number 23.
Oh
Right before
man.
the huge break, they did a massive accident. And then, of course, they came back strong, still to come out in third. I mean, that's a Cinderella story in itself. And I wish if you get an opportunity to go back and watch some of those series races because they were great. And then also make sure that you're following like the Nismo Instagram page. Those have some amazing coverage photos. This is where we get all of our stuff and our content. But subscribe to those because they give you all the updates. They give you all like these really just quiet, static shots that are kind of happening, and just some amazing photos. But again, we hope we wish them the best. We hear the 2024 model of the Z that's coming out is already kicking butt
Mm.
in time trials or in their preseason time trials. They're already out there destroying. So we're hoping for good things coming up in the 2024 season. So yeah. But
Very cool.
something else that kind of came up yeah, and then if you're kind of sleeping on it, of course, you knew we knew about this because we kind of did a lot of coverage for it. And if you didn't know that a huge movie called Gran Turismo movie, a huge movie that Gran Turismo came out, and it was huge for the brand in general. Nissan partnered years ago with the GT Academy, and of course we are huge fans of the GT Academy, and of
Hmm.
course all the racers from that because there was multiple series, there was multiple winners. Some really close friends of the show were
Hmm.
actually some of the winners, and some really good friends of ours too as well, like Brian Highcotter.
Yep.
Jan, unfortunately, we've never met, but again, this is what the story kind of covers. But I'm really proud that the movie came out and we had an opportunity to kind of go see it. It's in the theaters
Yeah.
and it's out, and you can buy it on DVD. It's attainable now, and it's
On
a good
DVD now.
story. There's a
Yep.
couple things that we're so nerdy. Of course, we're going to question some stuff, but for the most part, for the general public, this is a huge movie that came out that I'm super happy to always like drop on people. Like, hey, have you seen that? You're into cars. Have you seen this movie yet? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely on like my top car list already. Like it's up there.
Yeah.
It's
It,
it's up there.
well, and I know we talked about this before too, because like any type of car movie that is a historical reenactment, because it is based on a true story, just like you said, Hollywood tends to generalize and gloss over a lot of things. And for guys like us that are really into the minutia and the details, we tend to be like, ah, man, they did it again, they ruined and everything else. That wasn't the case, I don't think, with the Gran Turismo movie. I mean, uh, seeing the character development, I think there are very much a lot of the facts that the
Yeah,
director they
a
stuck
lot of the
with.
facts were pretty strong because they had direct involvement with them. I mean, there's a huge time frame discrepancy, but you can't really help that because there's so much going on with the story when it comes to Super GT, Nissan's involvement, and all that with Jan and his story. I mean,
Yeah,
how do you make all that into a film and keep it historically accurate? And really, that's what it's mostly at the end of the day. It's about Jan. And of course Nissan's involvement in it too, and
yeah,
of course also paying homage to Gran Turismo too as well. So there's a lot to bow to when this
yeah.
movie when you first watch the movie. But I'm so glad that it's out. And here's huge amount of news. If you didn't know that, it's now available on Netflix starting tomorrow.
How many times have you seen it, by the way, so far?
I've
How many
seen it
times?
5 times in the theater.
Oh, I seen it
Uh, I,
3. You beat me.
yeah, I saw it 5, and I only went because other friends wanted to go see it, and so I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, sure, I'll go see it again, and they
Yep.
bought the tickets. I was like, all right, cool,
That's what
let's go.
happens, man. That's what happens.
But
Yeah.
I saw it once on a journalist dime, and then two I paid for myself, and then the other two were like freebies from friends just to go check it out, and it's
Same here. The
yeah, I'll probably
first
watch it again. I don't know, tomorrow and like 50 more times now that it's on Netflix,
just
and
like you said.
it might even be a Netflix and chill. Who knows?
Oh
You
man,
know,
watch out! Call the missus over. Hey, baby, come on over for Netflix. Yeah,
call
exactly.
me on. It's all right. Sorry, we're still a family
I'm
show. Let's leave it
I'm sure
alone.
there's gonna. Yeah, yeah. I saw it on a flight as well.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was one of those in flight movies. I was like, of
You
course, don't
know,
mind if I
it's
do.
good. It for what it is, for everything, and I love the fact that it's like there's so many like there's a lot of Easter eggs that are dropped in the movie too as well, so I can kind of go back and watch that, and I kind of
Hmm.
like little nerdy things. Of course, Nissan nerds. This is what we're all about. So if you haven't seen the movie
Yeah,
now and you have Netflix, no excuse. Now go get it.
right
So.
down your alley, man. You're gonna love it. Of course, if you haven't seen it already, you're gonna love it for sure. Oh
You're
yeah,
gonna absolutely love it. So,
yeah.
that I don't know. That's a huge highlight moment. I feel like it's a huge feather in the cap for Nissan, and of course the livery as well for
Hmm.
everything with the GTRs and everything with the Z lines. I mean, that's a huge feather in their cap as
Yeah,
far as getting the brand out there and in the public eye. But Nissan's no stranger to winning awards. Now,
yeah.
Mike, you took it's a lot of work. You sat there and kind of dove through everything that Nissan got awards for 2023, which surprising there was a lot.
A few,
W-
yeah.
what was your recap from that?
Over a dozen, man. So yes, right. As giving, recapping what Nissan's been doing with some awards that they've received for various models of the current offerings. There were definitely over a dozen, And this is just through some of the official award agencies and groups. And there have been a lot that have been more, I guess you could say, privatized awards, but definitely a huge accolade that Nisa should definitely be proud of. Um, I've got a small list here. I'm going to just kind of top off a few of the highlights. Of course, the Nissan Aria earns the 2023 top safety pick rating from the IIHS. That is actually the most recent. That happened just yesterday. This announcement came in from the Nissan newsroom. We do have here Nissan Aria, of course, the E-Force, which is the all-wheel drive version, is a Ward's 10 Best Engines in Propulsion Systems winner for 2023. So another accolade for the new model Aria EV vehicle. The 2023 Nissan Rogue wins Tars.com Compact SUV Challenge. We've got here the Aria as well, Ward's 10 Best Interiors. Man, there's a lot more for Aria too. Also from the Texas Auto Riders Association Auto Roundup, Aria got the Electric Vehicle of Texas award. Moving into something that isn't the Aria, of course, we have the Nissan Frontier. It leads the owner satisfaction in JD Power's 2023 U.S. Customer Service Index, their study of that. And also the Pathfinder awarded 2023 top safety pick rating by the IIHS, otherwise known as the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. Again, just to name a few other ones here, of course, are the Nissan Versa. The new Z was best compact sport coupe by Motor Week. And it wasn't in this list, though, but we can't forget the new Z was the vehicle of the year for the SEMA Awards because of its aftermarket potential. That was a big one. Nissan Versa, Sentra, the Kicks, Z again for being a finalist of the North American Car of the Year, and a few more for Nissan Pathfinder and Frontier. So, man, this is just again some high points. We can see a lot of common connections, I guess you could say. So the Aria for sure, the Z, the Pathfinder, the Frontier. Those are 4 solid models that have received multiple awards this year, and all of which have received a facelift or an all-new version, of course. So I mean, again, I'm thinking about the first time that we saw the Frontier and just how stunning it looks. I mean, the interior, the front end, the styling. It really is a very sharp truck to have, and it's definitely winning awards not only for its looks and design, but also reliability. So definitely a big one there. Moving on to another one, Miles. I know you have a soft spot in your heart for a couple, a husband and wife team that is doing it's such an amazing journey that they're doing in the new
It's been a
Aria.
long journey for them, honestly.
Dude.
If you've been following it since the beginning, um, this couple, if you're not familiar with it, of course, we're talking about the pole to pole EV. This is an Aria that's traveled all the way from the North Pole with the goal of making it all the way to the South Pole. This isn't a race. Again, this has been more of like a long expedition to show the superiority of the Aria, making it all the way from the North Pole all the way to the South Pole, and let that sink in for a second. The amount of uh, the craziness of that expedition. But what makes this beautiful is it's been extremely well documented um,
Hmm.
from the beginning to the end, even pre it has. And then of course all the modifications on the vehicle have been well documented, and of course all their alternative powering sources have also been well documented too. So I mean, every little, if you're truly nerding out with all the EV details on this, you need to get woke and you need to get with the pole to pole EV expedition. And to top it off, it is all kind of coming to a head here within the next few days.
Yeah,
Now, again, Mike, give us a little background. I mean, you have a lot of the details here. Of course, I gave a lot of that right now, but
for
um,
sure.
what do you before we get into where they are now? What
Yeah.
do you remember about this?
So the pole to pole challenge or expedition, you could say, right, is yes, partnered with Nissan and the Aria, the EV. It is a husband wife team. That's Chris and what is it, Julie Ramsey, husband wife
Mhm.
team.
Yeah.
Now of course, with Nissan
Here
sponsored.
they
There
here
they
they
are.
are freezing to death.
Yes, there you see the frozen eyelashes, man. Um, we got to get into that too. The type of let's not even talk about. Oh, sorry. Not only are we going to talk about the harsh conditions for the vehicle, but imagine yourself having to day by day endure these cold
Mhm.
weather going on. Okay, getting back into it though, the Nissan Aria modified with partnership with Nissan. You also have an unmodified Aria driving with, I believe it's a
Mhm.
backup vehicle, support
Correct.
vehicle, maybe been
Yeah.
used in different ways along the way. Probably for parts, you never know. I don't. Who
Hey.
knows? I mean, no, I mean I say that like realistically. Let's just be realistic. Because the reason why I say that realistically is because, like you said, Miles, this is not a race. It's about endurance,
Mhm.
and not only are they setting records for EV, but for vehicles, just vehicles
For
in
the
general.
expedition in general,
Yeah,
this is there's a lot of firsts that's
yeah.
happening with this expedition.
So,
And
so
yeah.
like you said, though, Miles, this couple are days away from finishing this expedition. This
Not even that. We're
which
talking. They're moments away. Like
moments away.
as we do the show here today, we were.
Yep.
It's funny. We were talking about. We were doing some pre-show stuff here about a week or two ago. And we're like,
Hmm.
dude, I think it's going to happen like the day before or the day after the show. And as it as it happenstance would be,
Hmm.
we were literally looking for updates, and I think we're following it now
Yeah, we are. We are.
live,
We are.
and again, it's December 14th at 9:12 p.m. Central is when we're doing the show as of right
Yes.
now. But we were literally watching it before we even started the show. We were hoping that we would get an update like
Hmm.
minutes before and be able to tell you all about it. But I think it's literally going to happen either tonight or maybe they camped for the night and maybe it'll happen tomorrow. But I don't know. I couldn't even tell
Hours,
you. Yeah, we were
hours away.
expecting an update here anytime soon. But I mean,
Yeah.
there were how many miles are they currently? What's the latest update, Mike?
Okay. Okay. So from magnetic North Pole to South Pole, it
Okay.
is over 17,000 miles. It is spanning across 14 countries. You've got 10 months of driving to do this. Like I said, it's an expedition. Let's just say they're taking the long way home. Like this is the scenic route. They're taking the scenic route from North Pole to South Pole.
Yeah.
Again, we're hours away from this 10 ending this 10-month expedition. There's some really good information from their Facebook page, one of which says that, when it comes to driving duties, about 12 to 13 hours a day driving duties as they traveled again for the past 10 months, man.
Man.
I do have a picture. Yes, this almost feels like New Year's because we're like watching the ball drop
Yeah,
here,
you know
man.
what it feels like?
Yeah.
When you were a kid and like on the news they would show you where Santa Claus is
Yeah.
on
It's the
the
Santa tracker.
it's the Santa
Yeah.
tracker. It kind of feels like we're tracking Santa right now. And what's
Yeah.
great, yeah, is I mean they're definitely in the right spot for the whole Santa vibe. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
if they're gonna if it exists, I mean that's North Pole, but
Yeah.
maybe he's just tripping everybody out. He went to South Pole. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Times are tough in North Pole, man. Rent
Times are
that's
tough. Maybe just
that's
I think this
real
maybe
estate
it's where he
taxes went up,
vacations. I don't know, or he
Yeah,
keeps the other
yeah.
spot.
I
But
blame the school
no,
system,
it's
man.
but yeah, it feels like you're watching the Santa Claus updates as we've been doing, and so this is where they are. This is a great
Yeah.
mapping system.
And if you can see though, again, it's very, very small lines. Again, we're sharing a picture here. You see these like dashed or dotted circles, like you
Mhm.
see like a bullseye, essentially, that is essentially the South Pole, the magnetic center of the world, Miles. Like this is this
This is where
it's
all the
just
secret alien bases are potentially, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I got, or
exactly,
the
exactly.
secret military or alien bases. We'll find
Yeah.
out. So no, we're just
And as you can
they'll
see
let us
though,
know. So
essentially, I
they're
mean,
right
mere
there.
feet, hours away from accomplishing this. And we should say what was really what was meant the point that was meant to get across by doing this is it wasn't it wasn't just to show the capabilities of the Nissan Aria, but also the for EVs as a whole to show that it is possible to have renewable energy. You mentioned, Miles, a little bit about the clever ways and creative ways that to generate power for this thing. They were
Correct.
using wind energy. They're
Hmm.
using
They
solar
actually have a
energy.
pull along unit that they use for the wind generation. A lot of rollout solar panels, like their latest updates on
Yeah.
their pages, is where they actually take the solar panels and they're laying out all these panels on the
Yeah.
ice, and they're
Yes.
just, certain parts of the day are colder than others, so they're in the car trying to warm up, and it's,
Hmm.
I mean, it is truly an expedition. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you get a chance, just go back and look at their consistent updates. And it's like, if you're into it, I mean, this is the ultimate overlanding experience, if you will. So
It really is. And again, getting into the bigger picture, let's get past the idea of EVs and what they're trying to prove in terms of capabilities. Just for cars in general, not even an internal combustion engine car vehicle has ever done this. And here we are. This is the first vehicle ever to do this. I really hope this gets to be put somewhere in a museum that we get our hands on one day, like the Lane Motor Museum or
I bet you
somewhere.
anything this is going to
Nissan
be a
headquarters.
documentary. I hope this will be, excuse me,
Yeah.
I hope when everything's said and done, I hope this ends up becoming some type of documentary. And it should be, well.
Oh,
There should be a documentary that kind of covers this, and I mean, because there's got to be loads of stories, um, tons of human experiences that are involved here. A lot of human interaction. There's got to be all types of sub stories and just beautiful interactions
oh,
that I would
absolutely.
expect. So,
Yeah,
or that I would be hoping for. So,
yeah.
one of these days,
Yeah.
maybe somebody will come out with a documentary that'll just kind of show that human spirit uh,
Mhm.
thriving
Oh,
through the
man,
form of
dedication.
outlanding. It's
10
awesome.
months? Yeah, and what I wanted to say too, though, again, first vehicle ever to attempt this, and essentially, can we just say it? They accomplished it,
They
man.
accomplished it.
They did. They accomplished it, and not only did they accomplish it, but based on the comments they made on their social media just recently,
Mhm.
it's handling like a champ because there are so much physics, temperature being one of them, that doesn't really affect the EV as it would an ICE engine. This thing is
Correct.
chugging
The
along
lack
pretty.
of height, the lack of oxygen in the air for the elevation doesn't affect the vehicle in the
Yeah,
same circumstances. So they've just been kind of plugging around, plugging along, as it were, in those respects. And you
yeah,
can kind of get all this from the updates, and if
yeah,
you pay attention and you've been keeping up with them. But that's so cool that it doesn't affect
yeah.
what they're trying to accomplish,
W-
or they are
w-
as not as affected. So.
Yeah. What was the temperature reading they last said? Was it negative? Was it
It
89
was
degrees? Negative
negative eight.
89?
I think it was. I think you're right. I think it was like negative 89 degree. And they're just like, oh, car's just plugging along. I'm like,
That's, I mean, and
that's
again,
crazy.
talk about endurance, not only from a vehicle, but for the people. Dude, dude, we just hit 40s here in Texas, and I'm like cussing at the wind. I'm like negative 89 degrees. Like, oh man, more power to them, man.
All
You know
right,
what?
when
I
it's
would
all,
love.
they
Uh
make it. We know they're gonna make it. They make it. Now this is the big question. Do
huh.
they just hand over the keys and they're just like, we're flying out of here? Like, out of
Well,
10 months,
I think they're gonna have to.
like, I need a margarita. Like, here's the
Yeah,
keys.
I
I
think
have to. Let's go.
I think they turn back around. I think Chile is probably where the nearest airport is,
Yeah.
and they book a trip to the Caribbean and spend the holidays and New Year's on a
Sell it to
beach.
Nissan for $1 and just, we're out.
Yeah, yeah. That. dude, I seriously hope that we can line them up for an interview for
One of these
24
days,
because
maybe
I
let's let
have
these
so many
people, let's let these poor
questions.
people rest.
Let them
You
thaw
know,
out,
let them
especially right
thaw
now for
out,
sure.
and
Dude,
and then we'll try to do a reach out. So we'll
like
see how it goes. Yeah.
I have so many questions, man. Like, I mean, who's taking in their mail? Like, they have a neighbor that's like collecting mail for them. You know, just the
Is there
just
a
the
dog
goofy
that has
questions.
just been
Yeah,
dying to see these people?
who's
Like this whole,
feeding the dog?
who's feeding
Yeah,
the dog? Does the dog
yeah.
even know them when they get back? Oh man, will their family know them when they get back? Jeez, I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that's cool. It's a huge endeavor, and we're wishing them all types of congratulations all the time. And
Mhm.
undoubtedly they're going to make it there, and this will we'll talk a little bit about it here in January when
No.
we come back here after the after our winter break, if you will. And hopefully they have nothing but great stories, a lot of sharing of additional stories or b-side stories that maybe we didn't hear from
Yeah.
before. But yeah, again, a
Cool.
huge feather in the cap for Nissan,
Mhm.
and for this husband and wife team. Yeah.
I do need to make one correction though. It's negative 29 degrees.
Ah,
Negative
negative
29.
89 degrees is when
I
fuel
think it's
freezes. I'm
still
just kidding.
cold is cold at that point, man.
Yeah, I
Just
think
saying. But I do want to get
anything
my facts straight on that
anything
one,
below
man.
60 is cold for Mike, so don't feel bad.
For our part of the country, yes, it is.
So that covers everything from for the Nissan brand highlights. I would
Mhm.
think that we wanted to mention. Now let's talk a little bit about the Nissan community highlights. This is everything that we felt deserves some notoriety, and this is of course the clubs that are local, the racing series, anything of highlight that kind of came out within the Nissan community as of late. Now,
Yeah,
of course, the first annual, everything. Let's think about this for a second. What happened in 2023? So I think the first annual Texas Z Fest happened in 2023.
mhm, mhm.
That's for starting off of an event, huge success here in Texas.
It
Of course, that was
was.
held in Fredericksburg, Texas, and of course they'll be doing it again this next coming in 2024. But
Yep.
you and I both attended that. We had a great time. It was a good local event for us, and we want to make sure we give them a shout out. But that was
Oh
cool.
yeah. Again, like you said, in Fredericksburg, Texas, it was at least was it 4 days? I want to say it's maybe a little more than that from a Wednesday to Saturday, and the send off was on Sunday. Car shows, cruises, social nights, really had everything that you could expect from a first year event. And I really hope that, of course, they are repeating that pattern for 2024. But of course, you start adding on some other little things and having some fun. And Fredericksburg is an awesome town to spend a couple days in. Hill country, you're essentially in the hill country. Some amazing routes. The organizers of that event did a great job. They partnered with the ZCCA, Z Car Club Association, to pull off that event. And really had great results. So definitely for the Nissan community, it's just another event to go to and a really good one at that. So definitely congrats to those guys. We wanted to give out. We also mentioned Nissan Challenge. Again, if we haven't already, we did a
Yeah,
bunch though, but we made some really good friends with Nissan Challenge, and I hope that we definitely got the word out for them this year. John
absolutely.
and Edgar, I got to have a nice interview with them early this year. Um, would you count Center Cup? Center Cup is out of Canada. I know we haven't
It
really
doesn't
had
matter.
much opportunity to.
I feel like, you know what? It's Nissan Community. It's a racing series, and it's a
Oh,
Nissan specific racing series.
yeah.
I'm going to count it. And then
I think
they had a good year,
yes.
good notoriety. We were hoping for a little bit more. Like I wanted more videos. I wanted more in the driver's perspective shots. I wanted some recaps. Hopefully, one of these days we'll get some really good coverage from the Centra Cup that's consistent
Mhm.
all the way through the series. But either way, I'm still just proud that there's a Centra Cup series that's still kind of swinging away at it. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
There was one thing though too, because and this might be a good indicator, which is for the 2024 season, there will be one race of the Central Cup on U.S. soil. So I want to say it was
Really?
not. Yeah, we mentioned it. Oh, we
Oh,
covered
that's
it not too long
right.
ago. I want to say it's Lime Rock, and I could be wrong, but it is on the northeast U.S. where we will see. the Century Cup on U.S. soil. So that is definitely a
Maybe
growth.
maybe a road
Yeah.
trip's in order.
Oh, I would love to, man. Again, just to see it. I mean, it seems like a lot of fun. Yeah,
All
fingers
right.
crossed, man. It could
I'd love to.
happen.
I'd love to attend that. That'd be awesome. And then we can get
Yeah.
some great coverage from it. Make our own coverage. So, but before we
Maybe
get
we need to be
on,
those guys. Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
we
yeah.
need to be the guys. We'll and we'll try to go from there. Before we begin, I do want to backtrack a little bit, make sure we're answering our comments here.
Sure,
Bert,
sure.
when we talked about the Gran Turismo, he said he tried to watch it on the he tried to watch Gran Turismo on the flight back from Japan. That's right, because he also attended the Z Crazies tour in Japan, and he has some great coverage as well. So make sure we didn't leave that out for good old Bert. But the American Airlines in-flight entertainment system was down the entire flight. Damn,
That's
that
that's
sucks.
that's kind of
You
like
got
the McDonald's ice cream machine. It's always down. This is
it's
one
a
of those
damn
things,
ice
right?
cream machine's always down. Poor Bert, man. I'm sorry, Bertie. So
Yeah.
see here. Bert said, yeah, he goes on the pole to pole. He goes 60 miles left to drive until we reach the South Pole. Yeah, so it'll probably take him a few more days. Now that so
Not far, but yes. I mean, they. Like I said, at this point, I want to say we call it, man.
maybe,
It's
yeah,
like yeah. I think it's one of those things we got to just call it.
yeah. I'm sure it's it's the last piece of trying to get to Everest. You're right there, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let's go back into Nissan community highlights
Yeah.
now. What else was there? I know, the big thing for 2023 was like, I don't know about you, but like car giveaways are starting to become a thing. Like in like the Nissan community and cars and
Yeah.
giving away. I don't know. It's starting to trend now as we get into 2023, and you're starting. I already see it for
Yeah.
2024 shows that are kind of coming up. We're starting to see like there's going to be a
See,
Z giveaway, and it's crazy. I think there was a 350Z raffle for a club built 350Z that was given away at Branson Z Fest.
it was. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right, man.
this last
That
year.
and not only again, but let's just say this. You're right. We've seen. I mean, for those who are anybody who's on social media and follows anything with car enthusiasts, we've seen them here and there. It's always like some supercar that they raffle off and they give away
Or
a
they're
bunch of
going
money
to
with it.
raffle off and they just take everybody's dollars
Well,
and
you
then
got the
put them in
ones
their
that don't
bucket.
make it either. Yeah, you got those. But this was at least in our world, for the Nissan world, not only was it a Z, but if you really again, if you follow the story of that car, Josh, Cade, I know I'm missing some
A
names,
lot
but
of
there
it,
was the whole
all the boys down
Branson
there with the
Ozarks.
Branson Z Fest that who do
Yes.
part of it, they literally bought a Z, and then everybody poured their blood, sweat, and tears, and lots of parts, lots of sponsor parts, and lots of money went into that car, and they had a great product. This was a
Yeah.
350Z convertible when everything
Yes.
was said and done, repainted,
Yep.
and the car was completely ran through, and it was a great giveaway prize. I
It-
think we didn't get a chance to attend the Branson Z Fest, but me and Mike both threw money in that with
oh
hopes
yeah.
of winning. So
Well, right. I mean, like I said, blood, sweat, tears, soul. I mean, there was definitely like I said, it takes a village, right? There was a
yeah,
community effort. It wasn't, it wasn't some corporate type of promotion and
mhm,
whatever else. It was heart and soul from grassroots guys just like us doing this, and in record time too. You got to think about how fast these guys made that car
yeah.
available for this raffle.
Yeah,
God,
it's
that's
crazy. But the thing about it
yeah,
is like it's weird. It's like there's a difference between like Branson and a lot of other shows. And this is of course we're Branson fans because we've had really good times when we've gone.
yeah,
But it's like there's no shortage of like guys working on their cars while at a multi-day car event. Like, it happens like you go to a normal convention or something like that. There'll be some guy tinkering away here and there, but you'll never see anybody like rebuilding half of a damn car in a parking lot, or pulling a damn engine, like us who are fools that have done it in the past. And
mm,
Of course, we'll try not to ever do it again, but I mean,
Memories,
I
man.
mean,
I love that memory though. Yeah.
yeah, that was a few years back. I mean, that was us doing an engine pull in a parking lot at Branson. Of course, this wasn't this last year, but I mean, that's that level of kind of family and
Yeah.
all inclusiveness with an event
Mhm.
like that. And if you're still sleeping on Branson, again, get woke, attend the event, and also if I had to guess, they're probably going to be doing that again, where they're giving away a car. We'll see, but I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to pigeonhole those guys into having to make another car unless they don't want to. But I would think it was a huge success. Maybe they'll try to do it again. So
Yeah. Yeah. Again, another first, like you said, just the 350Z for the Nissan community. It's definitely noteworthy that we wanted to do. Uh, yeah, car raffle. That's a big one for the Z community for sure. Um, the last one we had here for the Z community, of course, we can't forget about ZCon, Z Car Convention, actually happening in the Los Angeles area, Ontario to be specific, which took place late September, actually early August. It happened in early August. We had 6 days of just Z enthusiast action, multiple track days, multiple car shows. We had an amazing social night. We had tech talks, a lot of special guests. Peter Brock was one of them. Get the JDM Legends guys. I mean, of all the events, the Z events, you get a lot of local ones. You get a lot of, this is called them regional. You have regional Z car events. This is an international Z car event that happened. That's what ZCon is. And one of the things that we did see, which was definitely noteworthy, I think, from the community, which is we 2023 was really the first year that our friends from Japan were able to travel back to the States and to participate. Of course, we can't forget, with the pandemic having happened and the various restrictions, it seems that this year was the actual first year where things were starting to normalize, specifically traveling, from Japan overseas in general to come and hang out for ZCon. So again, our buddies in Japan, Tetsu, of course, our friend, saw him this summer, loved spending some time with him this summer. Um, Same thing goes with, of course, the Z Crazies tour. First time back as a Z community, back to Japan, but that's another story though. But um, ZCon was an amazing time though, man. I know lots of good memories for sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Again, for those of you guys that are online, we definitely have Z community. If you have anything that you want to share, big milestones even in your life and in your build, hey,
mhm.
at the end of the show here, we can definitely add that to our list as well. Moving on though, in the meantime, we've talked about Nissan highlights. We've talked about the Nissan community highlights.
Mhm.
Let's talk about us, man. Let's talk about podcast highlights. What has happened for us
I don't know.
in the
We're,
last?
we're gonna we're gonna self promote. All right, let's see
I don't
here.
want to say that.
I'm just joking. No,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
honestly, we had a lot of really good episodes this last year. We've done some really good interviews. Um, God, I feel like we've done a lot. I mean, we had the Nissan Challenge Boys this year?
Yep, that was in
Yeah, it was
early
2020, early
23.
2023. Hell, I mean, what else did we do? We followed the Nissan GT4 series. I mean, these
Dude,
guys,
that
they
was such an awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
you had some great coverage from that. You actually had an opportunity to go hang out with those guys, do some interviews with some of the engineers, of course, a lot with the drivers too as well. I mean,
Mhm.
there was a lot of coverage from that, and they had a stellar year too as well for still coming out of the box and everything. I mean,
Yeah,
ye-
and definitely for the show. I mean, specifically at their. Well, I want to say it was round three here at Circuit of the Americas. We were just so grateful to be able to sit with Tech Sport Racing. They're not only the owners though, but with the drivers as well. We've had Nissan Motorsports program managers. We had Nismo engineers that dude, it's race weekend. It is a busy, busy weekend. yet they were able to spend about 30, 45 minutes with us and help us. We had an exclusive interview with them. Again, for those who don't know about it, go to our YouTube channel, check it out. An amazing time. But it was just such a treat to be able to speak with them and ask them questions about how things are going. This was the first year domestically here in the States that in a long time, honestly, the Z car actually competing in cup racing in the last I mean, prior to this year, it's been a while since we've seen the Z compete with a factory backed program, Um, definitely for us, it was a treat to be a part of that and to see that. And also getting back to the Nissan community, every GT4 event, and I want to say there's about 8 of them, every race, every event that happened throughout the year, the Nissan community was on site. There was typically a car corral or group gathering that weekend where a bunch of enthusiasts would spend time and be able to talk to the team, the drivers, the engineers. They had parade laps. Essentially, you had a pep rally with every GT4 round that you saw here in the US. And that was such an amazing thing to me. For me, for sure, it was definitely a highlight of 2023.
What else did we do? We did Ohm from Apex Engineering. Apex Engineering, he
Yeah.
came on with us. Junkyard Jenny, of course,
Hmm.
who specializes in all Datsun S30 stuff.
Yep.
She jumped on with us here just a few episodes ago. That was fun.
Yep.
Ohm from Apex was awesome.
His story, how he started, was such an amazing story too.
Yeah,
You know,
and he's such a just a humble, low key dude. I mean, it's hard not to just kind of enjoy chatting with that guy. So it's like kind of crazy.
yeah.
But
Yeah. If it's
um,
cool with you, Miles, I want to get into some stats to let you
ugh,
know the
boring.
type of growth we had this year.
Oh,
Again, this is the nerd part.
uh,
Give me 2 minutes on this one, though. But
uh,
let's
just
talk
kidding.
about, yeah. Well, let's just talk about we've had growth on Instagram. We've had the growth on YouTube channels. We've been um, making more videos for the YouTube channel, seeing some good response there. Uh, we're doing more with our Instagram page, and so we've gotten some good reactions and response through Instagram. And of course, we can't forget about the audio version of the show. This is a lot. This is how a lot of people see us, man. Again, these podcasts, these episodes last 2 hours on average, and that's kind of really what the audio
With all your
format is.
stories, it's about 2 years. It's about 2 hours. Yeah, I would say 2 years, 2 hours. But no,
Yeah,
just joking. It's all right. But
I
yeah,
know, I know.
it is a lot. I mean, if you think about it, these shows happen for 2 years, 2 hours, and of course we nerd out. I mean, that's what it is. Sometimes we find a subject and we just talk. I mean, this is basically what we do. We talk in a virtual parking lot,
Hmm.
and we want to make sure that people are into it, and surprisingly people are into it, and this is
They
what we
are.
do. We love the brand. We love, of course, the Datsun, Nissan, and Infinity lines, and of course we love everything that's happening in the community. We want to make sure that we are shining our little spotlight bright on whoever we think is deserving of it. And
Yeah.
and this also comes down to you. If you have somebody of note, a story out there, we always tell you, let us know, because guess what? Me and Mike do this as a passion for us. We
Yeah.
don't make anything from these shows.
Nah, nah.
If anything, it's a detriment on us partially financially and time. It's definitely a time vampire. But you
Labor
know
of
what?
love.
At the
Mhm,
end of the time, at the end of the day, again, it's a huge labor of love for us, and we love
mhm.
doing it. And we love being able to shine a light where we need to. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
some
yeah.
people come away with that we interview and we give highlights to. They're kind of we renew a sense of pride for them, and well deserved. Like
Yeah.
sometimes when we call people for interviews, they're just like, "What? You want to interview me?" Like home, same thing. It was like, "What?" Like, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, you do an amazing service for everybody that's out there, and you're an amazing story of a business that started up. Great. Junkyard Jenny,
Mhm.
same thing. We had a blast doing that. The guys
Yep.
from the Nissan Challenge, we had a great time doing that this last year. And of course, we've done a lot of interviews in the past,
Mhm.
race teams or race drivers, and You know, it,
Yeah.
it goes on and goes on, and
Yeah.
just you know,
Yep.
I'm so happy that I'm honored to be part of that. So yeah.
Yep. What I wanted to do though is as well is call out for those. So for those who don't know, we have eyes on those of you that listen to us all across the world. So no matter what
Uh-oh.
country you're in, we've got some data. And what I wanted to do, Miles, is just call out a few countries that we have listeners in, and let them know, hey man, we appreciate you. Keep
All
up with
right.
the podcast. Thank you. Contact us. Let's grow this some more as
Let's
well
rock.
for your friends in your area. The word of mouth definitely does a lot. So tell your friends and let's have some fun with it, though. Of course, here in the US, we've got a lot of followers. Thank you guys so much. Same goes for Canada. Getting into some of the other countries in Europe, we've got Germany, there's France, we've got Denmark. Let's see here, of course, Norway, Spain, Belgium, Sweden. Dude, these are actual countries with listeners, man. Like,
We have Swedish
we see
listeners.
you. We've got Swedish listeners, bro.
That's awesome.
South Korea, we've got, of course, Italy, Costa Rica, a few
We
of
got
them.
any
Again,
North
I'm,
Korea folks? We got one guy.
you know what?
Tell me we got one guy in North Korea.
I don't have North Korea, but what I do have on the listing here, it says unknown. That might be
Ooh,
the
that's
unknown
North
list.
Korea.
That's
I'm
probably North
telling
Korea.
you.
That's probably North Korea,
That's
man.
probably
Yeah,
North Korea. Hey,
probably North
for
Korea.
our one guy in North Korea.
Keep fighting the good fight. Yeah.
Keep fighting the good fight, buddy.
We can't forget our friends in Japan and Australia. South Africa, we got a pretty good number out of South Africa as
A
well. New
huge Datsun
Zealand,
community out there. Hell yeah, guys.
yeah, man. So again, guys, what we're trying to say though is thank you for listening to us, no matter where you are. We appreciate it. It definitely goes. You know, w- we see you and we appreciate you. And if there's anything we can do, definitely we hope to be a source of entertainment for you guys. So thank you so much, though, Mom. That's all I had, Miles. What else? You got anything else on your end?
No,
We're getting to a
no.
close here. This is near the end of the recap here. So what are you thinking, man? What else we got here?
I think that's gonna be everything. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, on a personal level, I had another year doing this show with you, which is always fun. Of course, we've grown as friends, and of course, I also get to kind of catch up with my buddies that occasionally jump on here that we don't always get to see, and that's a beautiful thing in its way. I mean, let's talk about technology in this day and age. I mean, we basically just get to light a virtual trash can fire for everybody to get around and just warm our nerdy brains around. JLE, Matt, Brian's on with us, Bert's on with us. Just everybody. It's awesome. There's tons of people on with us all, but I love it. When everybody can kind of get on and chime in, and it's always surprising. So I love it. And occasionally we get shocked by people that just join up and just come on the shows. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you again for all the continued support. I mean, we've been doing this now for, I always get this wrong, 17 years.
We're-
How many years?
April will be
4
4 years.
months.
So
4 months we've
we're
been doing this. 4 years. 4 years. What
almost 4 years. Almost
our
4 years.
director's
Yeah.
telling me it's been 4 years. So yeah.
Judges. What do you got?
Judges, it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
four. It's
Yeah.
been 4 weeks. It's
Yeah.
but yeah. I mean, and we've known each other for a long time, but this has definitely kind of grown our relationship and our friendship, and you
Yeah.
know, um,
Absolutely, bro.
I always enjoy spending this time together, even prepping and working on your car a lot.
You've helped me out
Um,
a lot, dude. Thank you so much. You're right, man.
yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
I've built you a new house, and now I'm working on your car, and yeah,
Friends.
well, and then you talk to me about your bad kidney that you need a spare kidney. I mean, that's
You
just
know,
why
if you need
stop? Why stop at the cars? Let's just pick
you're
my bones.
you're trying to sweeten me. No, no, no. I think it's what it is. Is that you,
Mm.
are we the same blood type? Is that
Oh,
what
there you go. Just pick my bones, brother. Just go for it.
Oh
Uh,
man.
that's
Oh man.
pretty funny.
Well, there's one more tradition, Miles, that we
Yeah,
typically have
we got to
established
do it.
here with the podcast.
This is our white elephant. Wait,
Uh,
no, not white elephant.
Essentially, but we do have a gift exchange, Miles. We had an opportunity earlier this week to meet up for a little bit. We exchanged gifts. Do you have mine? Do you have it with you?
Yeah, actually, I've got your. We'll do our Christmas gift exchange right now. I've got mine.
Yeah. Okay, so there it is. You've got it.
I
Okay,
love the
so
fact that you were too lazy to put the OM and from.
well, it's TO, it's 2 letters, and FR. Well, yeah.
It's okay. You ran out of space. It's
I
okay.
ran out of space. Yeah, yeah.
But I will say though that this is legitimately good size. I hope it's not all air packets, but yeah. So
I don't think it is. Yeah, I did wrap it. I did put a lot of care into that wrapping, even though I know it's gonna go to trash. It's all good.
no, it's just all right. I'll. You want me to start? Okay, who goes first? You want a Rochambeau?
Ooh, ooh. Okay. 2 out of 3. What are we doing? What are we
Now
doing?
we're just doing a single one, baby.
Okay.
Rochambeau.
All right. On
Three.
3 or 1, 2, 3, shoot. What are we
One, two,
doing?
three, shoot.
1, 2,
Ah,
3,
damn it.
shoot.
Okay, let's do it. Damn time
Okay.
delay. One,
1,
two,
2, 3,
three, shoot.
shoot.
You son of a bitch. I saw you saw you
Ah!
saw it and the delay worked in your favor. All right,
Nah,
so
whatever.
I'll
You
go
first. You
I go
first.
first. Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, let's open up
Go
Mike's
for it, man.
big massive. This is like those unboxing videos on YouTube that people who have like 4 billion subscribers. Then we'll get a jump here. All right, let's go for it. Meow meow meow. Oh, Jesus. Oh my god. All right. Got my trusty blade. Let's make this happen. It's not delay. Oh. Meow. Meow.
Yeah.
And meow. There's not a cat in this, is it? That's because I'm
No.
cutting away at there's not an animal in here that I'm
Did
stabbing.
you draw blood? Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
draw blood. All
So
right.
I got a few. I got a few
Oh,
in the box
Jesus.
there.
There is a
Yeah.
few in here. All right. Okay. I think I took all the guts out. All right.
Okay.
Guts. Guts, you're
I'll
gone.
tell. I got a story for each one, so you go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm going to start
Pick one.
with, I'll save the last one. I'm going to start with the t shirt first.
Okay. Again,
Uh,
random.
And what am I looking at?
All right. So you got a Sasquatch with a coffee and a typical hipster Sasquatch. So
All right. You're making
what?
fun of my hips. I will say that's a pretty baller Sasquatch, by the way.
That's the thing.
So,
So one of the things that I do is that throughout the year, if I go out somewhere and I see something that hey, maybe we're getting close to Christmas. Maybe I want to say I picked it up in July or August, but I saw it and I was like, that seems like a Miles thing. And
I'm
I
pretty.
want to say it's Oregon or Washington. It's from
That
Washington.
is a. Let me see here. Where am I parting from? Leavenworth, Washington. It's hip to be Squatch.
There you go. So I saw that though, and I was like, that's a Miles shirt. So you know what? I'm gonna grab it.
I
And
am pretty.
there you go.
Even though I don't. I mean, it was always kind of like this. I guess I'm hipster.
You don't have
Maybe.
the man bun anymore, but you are hipster for
I
sure.
do miss my man bun. I wish I would
Do
never
you?
cut it. One of these days. I don't know. I just liked it. It was simplistic. You could just tie your hair back, and then like you're working on cars, you just bam, bam, bam. And you party. You know, and that was the ease of it. It's weird that I live my life so much of as a car
Yeah. What do
mechanic.
you got next? Which one are you doing next?
The bag.
The bag. Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Let me see here.
This
Whole
is more of
place.
the
That's weird. It's a weird shape. What could that be?
this is the gag gift for sure, man. Do you dare?
Hold on. Let's fix this. Hold on. Where's this go?
I know you like fine wine and cheeses.
There you
Do
go,
you
Mike.
serve
Is that weird? That's weird. I'm not
I
gonna put
know.
it towards me, so
Do
look
you?
at you, dude.
Do
Like,
you
hold on,
really?
let me
Yeah.
fix that. There you
Mm.
go. Oh my god.
What are the odds that you have the nice background picture to go with that too?
What
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the you know what's funny is
Oh, yeah.
this was completely unintentional. That's the weird part. But hold on, where does that
Yeah,
go?
just coincidence for sure. So I
Jeez, Mike, I'm gonna have
aren't
to
you one
yeah.
to host house parties and do a
Yeah,
little
I guess I don't host those kind of house parties, but yeah.
is it
There you go,
fishbowl
Mike.
parties? Do you
If
don't do
that made you
fishbowl
feel good
parties?
about yourself, Merry Christmas. Yeah.
You can
But
serve
yes,
your cheese and crackers on that one,
I
yeah,
will
for sure.
cherish this forever.
It'll be fun.
Maybe?
It'll go to somebody else in a couple years. I know it will.
It smells.
You smell my wood, bro?
Yeah, it smells like a rich mahogany. So, all right,
But
and the
you always got to
last,
include the one gag gift for sure. So
you
that was a fun
gotta, you
moment.
gotta. And
Mhm.
what is your penis shaped budget, like product purchase
Budget?
budget per year? If you let's
Per year.
analyze that. So, what's your
It
penis
fluctuates.
product?
Peanut.
Is there a
Well,
budget?
because
Like, do you have to?
you got calendars, you've got cheese boards, as you've seen. Okay, yeah. Anyway,
Okay,
um,
last one. I'm not
l-
looking at it.
last one. Okay,
Dude, you found it?
so again, small world because we were just talking. I don't know when
Hell
we did
yeah.
this, but you mentioned it, and I was like, little
I've
thing
been
went into my
looking
head.
for this stupid movie
Yeah.
for like, I don't know, probably 6 months. And it's a legitimately good, like, I love apocalypse car movies, like Mad
Hmm.
Max. I'm a huge freaking nerd. And this is like a little unknown movie that people aren't like about.
Yeah.
It didn't do well, but it's awesome. Like, it's just a freaking badass flick. Like, I love it. Oh,
Well, that
dude,
was the thing.
yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned it, and I was like, you know what, little memory. I kept put a little pin in it, and I was like, you know what, Christmas time comes around, I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna grab it. So sure enough, I got lucky, found it, and what? Tell me again, what is it about the movie that you like so much? I haven't seen it. That's the thing.
Well, when we'll watch it,
Well,
I'll
we guess
bring
we're
it
gonna
over to your
watch it.
house and
Yeah.
we'll watch it. And it's basically like a post-apocalyptic like existence, but there's a city, and then people have to go. It's kind of like there's a massive wall. Like kind of Judge Dredd rules, like
Okay.
uh, like there's a whole outside wasteland, if you will, and then
Okay.
the wasteland community operates on these like Mad Maxy kind of cars. And
Hmm.
so this girl, from what I remember, it's been like years since I saw it. The hotness chick, which I think is the super hot chick from
Kate Beckinsale. Oh.
Ooh. So Kate
Yeah. Okay.
Beckinsale has to travel into the wasteland for blah, and then she has to make it back with the blah, whatever that was,
Okay.
and they're just all kind of chipping away at her to make it back into the walls. That's it. That's it.
Ah.
It's kind of. Is it like the new Mad Max?
Well,
Maybe. But
nah.
either way,
Right.
I own the freaking movie. I'm gonna watch it. So that's it. All right.
There
But
you go,
dude,
man.
super baller gift. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost as good
It's
as
almost.
it's almost as good as this. Out of the two, I'm gonna say I'm gonna raise a glass for this one. But
All
yes,
right, all
the
right.
Sasquatch shirt is gonna
Oh,
go into full commitment. So yeah. All
where
right.
where yeah, I knew you were painting your house soon, so I knew you needed a shirt.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, I had to. So dude, that's baller. By the way, good job. On your gifts. All right. So for all my Nissan nerd people that are out there, um, I'm gonna drop a lot of knowledge on you,
Ooh,
and I'm gonna nerd out on some of my journalism stuff because I'm giving you some like cool stuff, and
okay.
I'm paying attention. All right. So grab my bag.
I'm gonna grab it. It's actually behind the curtain. I forgot to grab it. Give me
Oh,
two
dang it.
seconds here. Hold
All
on. Hold on.
right.
Hold on. Hold on.
Don't tell him I was playing with his penis. Let's see here. I'm gonna, hold on. Okay, nothing happened. All right. Oh,
Okay. Okay.
go
So
on.
I've got a bag here. It is
Hey,
yeah. Which one first here? Now
I would
take a look.
say let's go with the big, gigantic, obtrusive white one. And I didn't wrap it, a lot of your stuff because that one's impossible to wrap.
Okay.
I
Okay.
pull it out.
So I'm gonna put the
That's
bag down. We're gonna open up this one here first.
all right.
Okay.
And that one is super old. Like,
Okay. It's opening up in half. You got some tape here.
I would just cut the tape. Like, that's right there, and it'll come out.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm surprised I had it, man. I got my nice little blade here.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna cut himself.
Oh, oh, I sprung a
Ooh,
leak.
oh, it's an
Sprung a
artery.
leak.
It's it. Called
Oh,
the
here comes the pain part. Yeah, got it. Okay, ready? Opening up here. Man.
dude.
Okay. Okay, tell me about this. I love this already. Now, again,
You
you
should
know that
love
I'm a
this. You're
basketball
the only
fan.
person in San Antonio with it. All right.
Okay,
So
so yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's say this. Of course, for those who don't know, we're out of San Antonio. San Antonio has a basketball team for many years, of which in the last 20 years we've won five since '99. So
Yeah.
in the last 25 years, this team has won five championships, which was my adolescence, my college years, my
Yes.
formative years. So this is a deep thing in my. I remember these. I remember those victories and being a big basketball
Don't
fan.
start crying. Jesus.
Okay, champs again. So is this from 2000? It is 2003. So Spurs champs again, 2003.
Okay. Do you know what
Okay,
that is?
no. So it's a piece of tin, and
No.
it's one color.
So so those so I used to work at the Express News for
Hmm.
a good time, and I
Local.
worked there during a lot of the championship time period at that time.
Okay.
So they when the massive machines that print the newspaper, they use stamps, and that's how they print the newspaper, and then they fold it over like that. That is
Uh,
actually one of the stamps that was used in the Nissan News presses. They're
the
massive.
presses.
So they gave employees that worked there the opportunity to buy reproductions of the stamp, and there was only and I'm not kidding, there was only a very limited number of those, and
Yeah.
they only went to us Nissan employees, to us San Antonio Express News employees, so we had the opportunity to get one. So I've held on to that. It's never seen
It's,
oxygen
it's
since
20 years old.
it's 20 years old. It's been sitting in my office for
Wow.
20 years in the corner. I'm I'm not the hugest San Antonio. If you're anything in San Antonio, you're just a Spurs fan, and that's just it. Like, but I'm not the hugest basketball fan. And but I was like, I remember you were always like so nerdy about the Spurs,
Oh
and I
yeah.
just but I knew I had this in the back
Yeah.
of my closet, and I don't think you understood of how limited and how rare.
Yeah.
I'm sure I just gave you like a crazy eBay sell item, but I'm sure it's like worth a lot of money. You probably,
Oh man,
you
I'm
know,
gonna frame
but
this, man,
the
because
thing is,
this is
but that
connecting to my
is,
youth, you know?
I know,
Yeah.
but you're like, and I have tons of like Spurs friends that are Spurs friends that are Spurs fans.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew that you are like a super fan, and I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? You've been a really good friend for the last few years, and regardless of how much you make me work on all your stuff, you've just been a really good friend, and
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know that I really appreciated everything that
Oh,
we've done together, from doing massive car shows like creating and starting Nismo Fiesta, and doing Z-Cons together, and Nissan
yeah.
Nerd Podcast. I wanted you to have the something that I knew you couldn't get anywhere else. So that is the limited, one time only. You're not going to find that anywhere else. So
Wow.
yeah, dude.
Dude,
Well, keep going.
thank
There's
you.
more. So put that
Yeah, I
down.
mean,
You
did you
can
bring any
cry about that
napkin?
one later.
Yeah, you bring any tissues with this too, man?
Well,
Shoot.
you can
Oh.
sleep with that tonight. There's more.
It-
So this is where the
yeah.
Z nerddom
Thank you.
kind of comes in.
Okay, so now we're going neat. So
Now
we
this
got
is
through the
your personal. This is it was just because it's so obtrusive and big.
okay.
Now let's go to in there. There's a white little baggie. This is weird. I guess yeah, it's weird.
White
All right.
baggie.
There's no
Oh, no.
product in it. There's no street product.
Well, I don't want it then. That's right. No, I'm just joking.
A little white baggie. But it's a little bit more
White.
for Santa. A little bit more for the reindeer. If you don't, yeah, pull up the baggie.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I know you're trying to get your right-hand drive 300ZX up and about.
Yeah.
This is the rarest sticker from the 90s that I think you can get. So I met um
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's an inside window sticker that was only given out at the dealerships when the 300ZX came out. It came out in 1990. So these were a very limited
Whoa.
run of stickers that came out. You're supposed to put it on I think it goes on the quarter glass. And
Yeah.
I surprisingly enough, the person that hooked me up with that was Johnny Gable. That was Mr. K's,
No way.
yeah, Mr. K's
Secretary.
secretary.
Yeah.
So her and I talked a lot in her latter years because I was doing all these articles on Johnny. I did one on I did an interview with Johnny, but then I was doing all these like things for interviews for Mr. K articles that I ghost wrote or wrote for magazines like Sports Z magazine and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of content, and then her and I were kind of talking, and of course she had the Datsun. She was a huge Datsun car. She was a huge person that was pushing the Datsun Car Museum that was in
Mm-hmm.
California for a short time before it closed. So
Mm-hmm.
she hooked me up with like these just random Z stickers. She goes, "What kind of car do you have?" And I told her that. So she gave me two stickers, and one is for my red car,
Okay.
and I was gonna put the other one on low fats, but I pulled it from low fats, and I want you to have it.
Man,
Yeah.
thank you. This is so cool. So it's a piece of history, Nissan history. We
Yeah, but
will
I
build it.
think you
Is
should
what
put
it
it on the
says.
car. I think it would be.
Oh yeah,
You
oh
could
for
put it in a.
sure.
You could put it in a cabinet or reproduce it or whatever. But I just think it was like it was. It'd be cool if somebody could reproduce them. But that is legit old school. Like you can't find another one of those. Put it up to the camera again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, it's a reverse because it goes on the inside of the car,
Yeah, and
but
it's the we will build it, and this was like when it was coming out.
just
So
coming
when
out.
the first productions once come out, those were stickers are available at the dealers, and they were only a limited run of them. So it was
Wow.
super nerdy sticker. So yeah, put
Thank you,
that back in
man.
the bag and
Yeah.
don't let it
It's a
touch
nice bag.
oxygen.
It's a nice bag, by the way. It's kind
Yeah,
of
it
like
hides all your drugs. Wait,
what is
I
that?
didn't mean to say that.
Ah, God, did I say that out loud?
Oh!
I
All
got no
right,
inner monologue.
there's
Yeah.
one last one, and
Okay.
this one will probably be potentially emotional. All right, it should be
Dude,
emotional.
if the first two weren't emotional, shoot, what the? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the thing is, I've got like troves and troves of like historic and like super nerdy stuff from all these years of like
Uh,
writing and just and some people just give me cool stuff.
You're
Like
giving
Steve Yeager gave me a bunch of cool stuff when he retired from Nissan,
you're
and
giving out some really nice stuff. You're not dying, are you?
I might. I don't know.
Shut up. Just
It's
sorry.
weird. I
Sorry.
did give
I
away
went dark. I went dark. Sorry.
at the club Christmas party. I did give away a lot of like rare stuff too. As well. I don't know. Maybe I am
Ah,
dying. I don't
man.
know. Anyway, so pull this last one out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it here. It's a picture frame. Whoa. What? I know who I'm looking at here.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna
flip
flip
it.
it around. Mr.
So
K.
it's a picture of Mr. K, right? No, just it's a famous picture. But the thing about that, if you don't need to open it up if you want, but that actually is from Johnny Gable. So this was the actual picture that was in her office for a short time because there's a number of pictures that he had to use for when they were at Nissan North America in
Executive
California.
photo.
Exactly, the executive photo. This one was actually in the office on the wall that she looked at day in day out for like years until they changed the picture out for something else. He had a it was funny because we talked about this years ago. There was another picture of him in a cowboy hat, but
Yeah.
the executives didn't like that he because he loved that cowboy hat. He couldn't wear that one, so they had to keep going to these like black and white photos that were like because there's other press photos and
Well,
I have
yeah.
laminates. So what's crazy is when I was doing this Mr. K um this huge Mr. K article for the for I forgot who I was doing it for at the time. I think it was Sports Z magazine or Nissan magazine.
Hmm.
When I was doing it, she just gave me tons of stuff, like his whole biography that was like Nissan press stuff back in the day that she only kept copies of it. And she has a
Yeah.
huge amount of the stuff. Anyway, so she sent me a bunch of glossy stuff that was actually stuff that she was like, you can have it. So
Wow.
she sent me like 7 or 8 photos, and I have those.
Hmm.
And but this one was the one that she goes, I had to look at that picture every day in front of my office. It was literally right in front of me for the longest time. And that's it. It's legitimately a picture from all those
You
years
know,
that was at Nissan North America in California,
I'm gonna put
Long
this.
Beach.
I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna do the same thing though. Where I have my desk, I'm gonna put it right here in front of my laptop, and this
And nobody
for the
else has
same
that.
reasons.
I can guarantee nobody else will have that. So
Wow, man.
yeah,
Holy
that's it. Yeah.
dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty
Thank
cool.
you.
She was like super cool to hook me up with a lot of that. And what's funny is when I called her back, I was like, "Hey, I'm done with all the content. Let me send it back to you." And she was like, "You know what, Miles? Just keep it." And Yeah, it was about the time when like
Yeah.
ZCon San
Can,
Diego was coming around. So
can,
yeah.
can, can I tell you something too about Mr. K that I thought was so cool? About
Mhm.
sorry, it's a little known fact. Again, this is the nerd part. It's a little known fact about Mr. K that I think is so um it was such a big thing, and you got to think about the time that it was being done and what he did. And again, I really think that this goes underlooked. Not everybody knows this, but Katayama, Mr. K, the K, Katayama,
Mhm.
is not his real last name.
I thought you were gonna come up with this story. I thought you were gonna talk about this, and
No, yeah.
yeah, I have a packet that's about that thick that goes into his biography, everything from his military
A
service,
biography,
and he
yes,
talked about when he met his wife. But I'll let you tell
yes.
the story. Go ahead.
So his wife was, I want to say,
Go
his
ahead.
wife's father, his wife's family had no living heirs, no sons. It was just
Mhm.
daughters. And I guess for his father-in-law, he wanted the name to continue on. And I could be wrong though, but I want to say that on Mr. K's side, maybe that wasn't the case. Mr. Miss Yutaka at the
Uh,
time,
Ion said it. No living male heir, and he's right.
no living male heir. Yeah.
Correct. And I need to bring that packet with you so you can read through
Yes.
it because
It's
it's
amazing.
pretty eye opening because there's a
He
bunch of like cool things about it. But
he changed his last name for his wife's sake to continue
as
his
a
wife's
as
family's legacy.
correct
How
as an honor,
selfless.
yeah, as a
Yeah,
sense of honor. You It
it's
was funny
amazing.
because when Johnny gave me this stuff and I was like, this all really happened. She's like, yeah. She goes, there's tons of stuff in there, like all these like great. Like there's like all these little funny things about Mr. K. Like you don't realize how much of a car salesman and like a no quit attitude the guy had until you actually get into those stories and like the people that actually were around him during
Yeah.
those time periods. And it's a limited few now, but I mean, she had some great stories. That was one of my favorite stories from
Yes.
him. The
So
fact,
amazing.
yeah, she goes, it was stupid, like how we are all like you, and she goes, you people, she goes, how you people are all with the Z's. He was also into like trucks,
Hmm.
cowboy hats, and kites. The
Kites.
man, kites. He was stupid for kites. He loved them, and
Yes.
it's just funny, like just all these like little crazy things. And I can nerd out on some of that stuff, and there's
So
other people that knew him a lot better than I
yeah,
did, but just some
think
of the
about
stories she shared with me was pretty cool. So
think about it too, man. If it had he not changed his name, there wouldn't be Mr. K. It would be Mr. And I'm just gonna tease you on this one, Mr. A. It would have been Mr. A,
yeah, it is
Mr.
Mr. A.
K.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at
So
that.
interesting.
We'll talk about
Yeah.
that maybe in the
That's
upcoming.
another episode. We should probably talk about that one day. Yeah.
Apparently we woke up Ion because now he's nerding out with us, and he goes, "No living male heirs on his wife's side." He
Yep.
goes, "Let me see here." He goes huge into kites. I forgot about the baseball. Ion's right. He was a
Baseball.
huge baseball dude. Don't forget about the baseball. He's right. He was a huge baseball fanatic. I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's funny. Um, and me and Ion share this nerd thing. They came out with, and you can look on eBay, but they're rare when they come around. But there's a baseball that came out around the time when the Z32 was coming out, and it was a promo thing, and they have Mr. K's signature on the baseball. I have one. God
Wow.
knows where. Ion has one in a case in his house, but that's yeah, it's crazy. When I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got that. It's just, I don't know. I thought it was super cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Dude,
man, I'm
thank
glad you.
you. Thank
I'm
you so
glad you.
much.
No, no, it's cool, dude. I'm glad you dig them. So it's just, oh, I can't take this stuff with me. What?
But
So
neither, and I don't know if I can either, but yes, the, man, thank you. I don't want to get morbid, man, but yeah, this is means a lot. The Spurs means a lot. The sticker, dude, it's
can I?
everything, man.
Yeah, I
Thank you
know,
so
and
much.
I'm gonna cherish this.
Yeah. So now I feel like now I feel like an ass for.
Well, don't feel like so much of an ass because I owed you one gag a gift because I knew you were gonna come at me swinging, right?
Yes.
So I've had this picture in back of me for this this show, of course,
Hmm.
right? And
Yes.
then of course this is one of my favorite photos of you.
It is.
Um,
It's a,
I took the liberty to
uh,
create this for you in the
uh,
form of a bed blanket.
shut up. What?
So yeah, I had this reproduced as a large size, as a king size bed blanket.
Okay.
And I didn't. I thought it was going to be ready before the show, but it literally is on its way to your home.
Is that what you meant earlier? 'Cause so early before the show started, you asked me, "Hey, has anything goofy or anything obscure or awkward come to your house in the last 24 hours?" And I'm like, "No, not at all." Is this what you meant?
Yes.
Oh,
So I was waiting for this to show up to your house, but this is your gag gift. So you
the Burt
can.
Reynolds face
Mhm,
on a lion skin, or what is it, bear skin rug?
it's a bearskin rug.
Bear. Oh
It's a
man,
bearskin rug,
classic. You
and
know
so
what?
that's you and on a
Mm-hmm.
bearskin rug. It's beautiful. I feel like I went above and beyond this year.
You did. I think you
Um,
won it though, dude. You won the gift exchange for
I
this year.
did. I did.
Bask in it. You know what? I bow. I bow low
You
for
should
this one,
bow.
dude. Yeah.
I'm amazing. But you and
Thank
I,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you and I owe also a huge thank you. Of course, we're giving out thanks. I want to give a shout out to, of course, Ion, who's now alive, who just woke up and joined the show, who's
Mhm.
also somebody that works the show with us a lot, who
Yes. Thank
adds a
you,
lot
Ion.
of benefit to the show. We haven't forgotten about you. We'll make sure we come up with a nice gag gift for our buddy Ion, who does a lot of analytical work for us,
Yes, he
fact
does.
checking for us, and he gives us a lot of um,
Tech.
content out there as well. And he is the unsung hero of the Nissan Nerd podcast, who we absolutely love, aka Ion Onion
Yeah.
Dasgupta. We love you very much, buddy. And I just want to make sure that we give you a shout out here
Much
for the
love to you, Ion.
2023, buddy. And
By the way, he asked me where am I going to put this blanket? Is there a strategic? I'm actually going to put it on the couch. It's going to be one of those things when you have like a Netflix and chill. I'm going to put it on the couch. That's going to be my movie blanket for sure going forward.
I'm picturing,
Yeah.
you know what though? Well, the funny thing about it is, imagine those people wherever the company is, because
Yes.
usually they're looking for like little, pictures. It was funny. All the advertisements were like pictures of like children holding their snuggie for their blanket, and there were all these like family loving things. And then here I am with this like bomb, and you know that these people just are like dying laughing
Losing
for
it.
this, losing it for this blanket to be made. So it's going to be hilarious. So
I will take a picture of it when it arrives, and we'll put it on the Instagram.
I think we
We'll put it
should.
on the Instagram
That's
posts.
awesome.
That way, the world knows that I did receive it, and it is hilarious
Ooh,
for sure.
Edgar with the Jeff Goldblum. I think I know which one he's talking about. I like
Ooh.
it. It's a good idea. A whole
Maybe I'll have to.
series. Well, we're gonna redecorate your whole house with inappropriate
Well,
Mike photos.
it's pretty much needed. You know what? At this point, I'm game. Let's have some fun with it, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know what? This is gonna be a
uh,
trend. You're never gonna get out of this.
ouch! I just famous last words, man. I just put my foot in my mouth, didn't I?
Okay, okay. Well,
Ah.
on that note, we ran our typical 2 hours. Again, this is our final episode for 2023. We will see you guys again when we, of course, step into 2024. We're going to take a little break. I would think maybe about, we haven't really set a date, but we'll probably be back here the
Mhm.
first or second week of January, maybe is what we're thinking.
Yep.
We're both going to go our separate ways for a little while, but then we're going to be coming back in January after a little bit
Stronger
of
than
a
ever,
holiday.
too.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too as well. So we'll be coming back for that again. Thank you to everybody who's been on with us since the beginning, and of course, all this last year. We do this show solely for you. We appreciate all the input. And of course, we'd love to see you when we start up strong here in 2024.
Yeah.
We have a few changes that we're going to be dropping on you guys, but real minor
Yeah.
stuff. We hope you like the updates when we come up here for the next coming year.
Yes.
Remember to always like, share, and subscribe. You can contact us again through our email channel at
Mhm.
info@nissannerd.com. As always, you can
Yep.
continue to follow us and the show. through Instagram with all our updates, and of course our YouTube channel, which Mike is now doing all that.
Um,
He's doing an amazing
I,
job with all that
I,
stuff.
I'm learning. I'm learning how to edit. So we're getting there. We're getting better. Yes, and you're right. Absolutely, you're absolutely right, Miles. 2024 has got some good growth, some good updates, more videos. We're going to be expanding the catalog. What I'm actually going to be doing is going through the past 3 years, the last 3 years of interviews. I'm going to
Mm.
take those interviews and post them to YouTube because you can't miss out on them, man. So it's going to be a really nice touch, I hope. So you guys that are with us, you can check out all the interviews that we've had over the years.
Yeah, I
For
think it's gonna be
sure.
pretty good. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, Brian on with us tonight. Yeah, we might even pull the Brian episode. We'll pull.
Yeah,
We'll do all these damn episodes. So yeah, man, you got a lot of editing in your future. So
I do. Yeah. Well, I'll do it with the blanket wrapped in my nice blanket while I do it,
oh,
man. Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
So all right. Well, until then, guys, we just want to tell you all to, of course, get in your garage and make something cool, man. We always I always like you guys better when you're in your garage making something cool.
And for
So
you guys, just remember if your engine stops smoking, you're probably out of oil. So check your oil levels. Make sure that you
that's
keep that
funny.
engine nice and healthy, no matter what you're doing. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Miles. Happy holidays, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And if we missed any holidays, we mean
Kwanzaa.
it as well.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa.
Have a good.
Yeah, you're right. Early January, we'll come out again, and we'll see you again, guys. Enjoy your holidays. All right, man. You ready?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do this.
Right on out, guys. We'll see ya.
A little last come
Oh,
pie.
that's right. Kanpai, guys.
Oh,
Kanpai.
yeah,
20.
you're trying to sign off. We got to do a sign off come pie, bro.
That's right. We do, don't we? All right.
All
Last
right.
time. There we go. Clink, clink,
Come
clink.
pie.
We
2023.
got it.
Goodbye, come pie.
2023.
A goodbye, come pie.
Goodbye, Kanpai.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think what I could use this for. Like, you know what? 10 millimeter bolts.
Okay.
That's it. I'm gonna come up with a real weird practical purpose for this, and it's gonna be in daily use.
It's
That's
not
it.
going to be for like
It's just
cheeses and
not gonna be
wines
for
and
like nuts and
crackers. And
cheese and wines. No, because I don't eat nuts, cheese, or wine.
what could
But
you
I could
use that?
put 10 millimeter nuts
Hmm.
in the nuts.
Could could that hang from like a tailgate? You know how they used to do the whole like the diesels have the little saggy
Ooh,
scrotum
like a
sack?
little like that.
Yeah, put a hole in it with some zip
Little
tie or something,
dangler.
like a little charm to put on your back bumper. I don't
Oh,
know.
we'll figure it out. But I'm
It'd probably
telling you,
scrape. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking, yeah, that's it. It's gonna be the new like. I'm gonna put some magnets on the back of it. And that's
Hmm.
it. Bam. And then it's gonna
Oh,
be for usage. That's it.
it's gonna be a sunshade. When the sun gets in your eyes, you're gonna fold it down, and it's gonna be the
Oh yeah, like a
right over
little.
your eyes.
There's so many usages. Now that I think about it,
Think of yeah,
that
the
is
the options. Sunglasses.
sunglasses for sleeping.
Put some
Yeah,
little, make some sunglasses.
yeah.
You're being
That's it.
teabagged. Oh man, you know what? It's after hours. All right, it's the end of the
It's
year.
after hours. Too many
It,
drinks.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll see you guys again. We'll see you. You can go home now. We'll see you in 2024.
See you guys again. Love having you. We'll see you again for more, guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Alrighty.